everyone. How are we doing today? Guys, we have an incredible group here today. Don't you agree, Ozzy? How are you?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I'm doing great, and I'm looking forward to this group. We have DeWalt, Eon Zerg, Boneth, and of course, Wolfix. I've been casting Wolfix for like 3 weeks now, so
We'll fix the favorite to get out of the group today.
yeah, 100%. I think everybody's gonna have a really hard time with the powerhouse that is Wolfix.
Man, he is he's prepared for this. I was talking with him. He's like, I want this group. I'm ready. And so I'm excited to see what he brings.
Yeah. I actually am, like, jokes aside, a little bit curious about what he plans on bringing to the table because after he lost BSL yesterday, he said in the Discord, all he said was time to practice. I don't know if he was joking or not. I've never seen Wolfix ever say that he wanted to practice for anything, so hopefully he's actually taking it serious and he's going to show us something today. But yeah, I mean, jokes aside, he is clearly the underdog in this group. He is against three absolute monsters of players, but he seems to want it. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I hope he does something great. Like, obviously, when you look at this group on paper, you're like, it's not quite Wolfix's group. However,
Yeah.
honestly, knowing how much he wants it, I don't see him going out bottom. Let's put it that way. I don't see him
You
being a
don't think
bottom of the
so?
group. No, I think if he truly has been putting his nose to the grindstone a little bit and thinking at least through some builds, I think there's a world where maybe him and Eon Zerg are fighting for third. You know?
Well, it is best of ones in the initial groups, right? So
Yes.
initial matches, and Wolfix has taken games off of all of these players. I'm pretty sure. It's obviously it's a small percentage, but it can be done. So it's
Yeah.
definitely not impossible that he could even, heaven forbid, come out in first on this group with some crazy upsets. But yeah,
Well,
it's gonna be tough.
I mean, to be
DeWalt
fair,
versus Wolfix to start us off. Yeah,
if he
that's
beats
brutal.
DeWalt in a best of one and he doesn't make it out of the group first, I think we're just ending the stream at that point. Like that man will have earned everything at that point. And if he doesn't make it out, that is an absolute robbery.
Yeah. He did play Eon yesterday for BSL, and unfortunately got a bit of a bad matchup as far as the build orders go.
Aw.
We'll see if he wants to maybe change some things up here, if he gets matched up against Eon again. But yeah, before we even talk about Wolfix versus Eon, he has to go with an absolute monster. And Eon himself, Bonathan, DeWalt, PVZ, both pretty crazy strong. I do think DeWalt's PVZ is probably a bit better consistently than Boneth. But yeah, this is just a strong group. It's actually hard to pick it, right out the gate.
Yeah, I honestly am not 100% sure how this group's going to. Obviously, we have our favorites. DeWalt
Mhm.
more than likely makes it out, right? And it's like Boneth, I think he makes it out, but then again, Eon Zerg's kind of, a sleeper. Wolfix, wild card. You never know, honestly, with someone like
Yeah,
Wolfix.
and Eon was looking really good. I watched his games. He played against Eternum yesterday, and he just looked. He made Eternum look like he doesn't belong there. And Eternum's an S rank Protoss in his own right. So I don't know how much practice exactly Eon's been doing lately, but he looked really really sharp yesterday.
I I imagine he's ready. Maybe
Hmm.
you have a bad run in BSL, you shake it off. The next day, you have a good run in IPSL. Maybe that's the build
Hmm.
order for him. Bit unorthodox, but we'll take it.
Yeah, and Wolfix does actually like Eclipse TVP. He's one of the few Terrans on the planet that actually likes it. Even the dogs are excited for this matchup.
Yes, Talia is very interested in this. Holly, come here.
Hmm.
Get back on the bed. You gotta lay down to watch. Come on, girl. Hi. Yes, my dogs demand all the attention.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. All right, looks like our players are ready, so she'll just have to sit back and watch.
All right.
All
Sounds
right.
good. So we're gonna hop into this first game here of Wolfix versus DeWalt on Eclipse. Gonna be a best of one. And spawning here in the top right corner, we have our Russian Protoss, DeWalt, a man that everybody knows in the StarCraft scene, and his opponent here in the bottom left, our Polish Terran Wolfix.
I thought you were gonna say that Wolfix was the one that everyone knows in the scene. And I was just like, okay, I appreciate that. A little ambitious, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, but as I was saying, Wolfix actually likes this map. TVP is one of the few Terrans on the planet that actually likes it for TVP. He does have a tendency to navigate the early game pretty well. I would actually argue that Wolfix's strongest point in the game is his early game, which would be why he likes this map, because there are a lot of ways that, you know, through the Protoss shenanigans that if Terran handles it really well, they're just really in a good position, and then if they don't go for it, Eclipse is actually just a good Terran map normally, right? Like, typically the reason you don't like TVP on two-player maps is because of, like, the proxy gates and the gas steal and just all the stuff that gets you behind in the early game. And if Protoss doesn't get ahead, then it's just by default, I think, Terran favored.
I don't know. I feel like you could Google this, and TVP probably has like a 60% win rate. I don't think I've ever heard a Terran say that they like Eclipse.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But you also got to be careful when you're listening to Terran players talk about anything, because
that's true.
They would have you believe that everything is against them when it's not.
I was joking with his son yesterday. It's like, if a map only has a 60% win rate, it's not a good Terran map. If it has like a 75% win rate, it might be Terran favored.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I'm unfortunately, because of my outlook on the game, nobody really likes me. Protoss players don't like me because I'm playing Terran, and Terran players don't like me because I don't balance one with them.
You've chosen the worst path, but I respect it.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody likes me because I 4-pool.
Yeah, that's fair, though.
Thanks. No, it's funny in Philly. I'm sitting there and I'm talking with Artosis, Gypsy, and Nesh, and they're like, "Oh, you're just gonna 4-pool all of us?" I'm like, "Come on, guys, you can't even give me a chance here." And then Nesh immediately like 8-racks me both games, or like I think it was 8-racks one game, and then a full wall the second game. He's like, "No, I knew you were gonna do it twice, so I just prepared for it twice." I was like, "Damn it, I wanted to win."
All right, so SimCity from Wolfix, one of the best like kind of anti-zealot SimCities you can actually get. It's one of the reasons that I actually like the bottomless spawn on this map. And Wolfix also had a 130, I think it was a 138 gas, which is really good for left side mining as well. So he might actually be a little bit sharp today. I mean, you know, not much has happened yet, but just so far, like, everything's pretty properly optimized looking. Going up to a 4th zealot, or sorry, 4th marine, because you do have that zealot coming across the map here. Nice initial damage as well. And so this is going to be the kind of zealot expand build. This is actually really vulnerable to a bust, and I see Wolfix go for the bust quite often when you play against this. So he might be continuing Marines, and there's a chance that he actually pulls SCVs and goes for this. Yeah, so we see more Marines building, and he might actually just do a pull here. This is a common response to this opening, especially if you get a good trade, but unfortunately he's going before the Vulture is out here.
Yeah,
that is not good for Wolfix.
Losing 3 of our Marines already.
Unfortunately, he can no longer bust this Nexus. He just went, you know, probably 2 or 3 seconds too early. You just want the Vulture there with the Marines, and you can eat up the Zealot. But he's actually still going to go for it anyway. He did get a lot of damage on that Goon. There's a second Goon out, though, and he's going to have this kind of high ground. Unfortunately, the Vulture gets picked off as well. And it's looking a little bit rough for Wolfix. He's going to keep going for this push. I mean, this Goon getting very low. This Vulture at least will be able to finish it off. But we're not going to have any Marines for this, which is kind of where the problem is, right? You really need the Marines to deal with the Goons, and there's going to be 2 Goons out with 1 Marine and a bunch of SCVs. I mean, SCVs are good against Goons if they get this round. Shield Battery coming down. It's not going to come into play for a little bit, though. But it's very hard to imagine we can get a bunker up with this setup right now. But it's pretty much do or die for Wolfix at this point. He has to get some serious damage done.
I do love the battery. It does show that even DeWalt's like, this has some potential here if we're not careful.
Yeah. Ooh,
we get a full surround on one of the Goons, but the SCVs are kind of derping, trying to repair, or I don't know, just generally not know what they're doing.
Yeah, that was a little bit odd. I think they were repairing.
Ooh, bunker goes up.
He's at least going to get the bunker up. And we got the add-on coming down behind this, so you kind of want to get a tank as quickly as possible behind this. It's going to be 3 vultures total, actually 4 if you count the one that died. But there's not enough marines in here to really DPS down these goons properly.
No.
So they were able to pick off a lot of these SCVs. And even though, you know, we got the bunkers set up, we'll see. There's only 3 SCVs here to repair.
Goon range is
I don't
done
think
too.
this Nexus goes down.
No.
Yeah.
The battery is also eating a bunch of the shots because obviously you can't target while you're in a bunker.
Yeah, the tank is really important part of this, and we didn't go at all. We kept making vultures.
Yeah, that's not good.
I thought maybe a tank was coming, but it sounds like the bunker just went down. Oh no, that was the shield battery dying, but the bunker's gonna go down pretty soon here. And unfortunately, this is not nearly enough damage for Wolfix, and there is a lot of goons that have built up now.
Yeah, it went from oh, this is a cool idea to, oh no, things are about to go much sideways. I mean, he has to go siege mode here, right? Like, you have to go siege first. It feels bad, but I don't. You know?
I don't want to say unplayable, but it's borderline unplayable for Wolfix now. You lost a bunch of your SCVs. You didn't really kill very many probes. You didn't break the Nexus, so I think a CC started after the push was already pushed back, right? So
yeah,
we're gonna have Reavers out relatively soon. There's gonna be a high goon count, and Wolfix is gonna be on what, like 3 or 4 units, not counting Marines probably. So it's extremely difficult to play from here. And you know you're against DeWalt, so
oh, he goes
I don't want to call it, but it is hard.
Yeah, DeWalt's not the kind of person that you can throw away a lead and then come back. You know, generally speaking, DeWalt's kind of good at making sure that doesn't happen. Now, obviously, you know, even the best of the best in DeWalt aren't perfect players, and we can see anything happen. But, yeah, it's an uphill fight for Wolfix.
Yeah, it's an uphill fight, and that's why I don't say completely impossible, and I just say borderline, because we actually saw a game, I think it was last season, Medino against Dragon was a great example, where Medino was in a horrible position, but via multitasking and drops and just kind of really creative play in general, he actually found a way to get back into it. So there are comeback mechanics, and it's kind of about creating chaos and finding angles to do damage and taking no damage in the meantime. It's extremely difficult, like I said, from Wolfix's perspective, but not impossible.
I mean, there's a world where he absolutely just snipes the Reaver here, and that sets him up already on a good trajectory. He has stuff in the main ready for it. He understands that it's coming, at least.
Yeah, we're not going to have turrets, so there is going to be a little bit of a difficult micro battle here going on. And not a good start. This first tank going to go down. Oh, nice target action on that backside again. Again, maximum splash for the goon focus down that tank. Nice pullback, though, so that tank at least doesn't go down right away, but
3 SCVs.
This is a lot of damage. We lost a lot of units, and we lost a bunch of SCVs. The tank is going to get picked off as well. Perfectly timed there from DeWalt. And yeah, this is basically what you can't, you know, have happen when you're in such a tough position to begin with.
Yeah, the Dragoons are going to come in at this point.
Wow, the Goon's even going to draw the fire, so the Reaver on the backside can get that shot on the tank and soften it up.
The worst part
this is just...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The worst part is the Reaver is so close to dead, but almost dead isn't dead.
Exactly. That reminds me of I always think of Kickin' Screaming, one of my favorite quotes that I bring up quite often playing StarCraft, which is where someone's like, oh, almost had you. And I'm always like, where they call that when you almost win? Oh, yeah, losing.
Yeah, it really is like that sometimes.
Yeah, at least it's going to get the shuttle and the Reaver, kind of a, you know, moral victory, I guess, if you want to call it that. But yeah, this is being broken through. That command center is going down. We're about doubling the supply now as Wolfix, or sorry, as DeWalt here.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see that tap out pretty soon. But well executed from DeWalt to kind of execute him once he got that big lead.
Yeah, it was a good build from Wolfix. Good idea. It just unfortunately did not quite work out. He lost too many Marines going across, and that's just kind of the end of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I was actually watching Kyrie and Bonnet today, and it was a very similar game where Bonnet did the same thing, and Kyrie went for the bust, and Kyrie didn't make the extra depot. So it's like when you're playing against people of this caliber, you like you have the right theory, right, on what you can do against it, but if the execution's not there, you're going to get punished against someone this good. Like theoretically, it's an advantage push for Wolfix, but it is a hard execution, and any mistakes, right, and
Yeah.
it falls apart. And like I said, losing those initial Marines, you have to have those Marines to fight the goons. Without the Marine count to fight the goons, you just can't push into them. It just doesn't go very well a lot of the time.
Yeah, which is interesting because a lot of times you'll think, oh, Marines aren't very good against goons, but
Hmm.
they really are just that high DPS early game unit that you
Yeah.
need to push it back, especially once you get the bunker up.
Exactly. Like once the bunker's up and low counts, the Marines actually do pretty well. Like specifically against rangeless goons, right? Because the coon can't shoot without getting hit either. And so
Yeah.
it's when range is up and the count gets up, the Marines start to lose their value.
You know, one Reaper was fun. Two is more fun. Yes, actually, based on that Scarab.
Dude, scarabs can be the worst sometimes, man.
Oh, they're so dumb.
The scarabs might be the only thing with worse AI than Scourge in this game.
That's true. Like, top 5 worst AI is like Scarab, Scourge, Medics, Goliaths, Dragoons.
Yeah, something like that. Goliaths are pretty bad too. Goliath and Tank actually have the same AI, ironically.
Really?
But it's slightly worse for the Goliath. But yeah,
GG's.
GG gonna be called. So all gonna take this first game, kind of punishing that failed bust attempt with a bust of his own. So nice killer instinct there coming out from DeWalt to kind of close that game out.
Yeah. And he just recognized, like, oh, I think I can just get this real quick here. And he did.
Hmm. Yeah, he got that initial damage with the Reaver and he saw the opening, and it was really cool and creative punishment. Like I said, those goons coming in to draw the tank fire so the Reaver could get that shot on the backside and soften up that
Yeah.
tank was pretty cool. So well played by DeWalt. Unfortunately for Wolfix, gonna drop him down to the losers match, and he's gonna have to play against the loser of Eon and Bonneth. There are no easy games today for
No.
Wolfix, unfortunately.
There's no easy game for anyone today.
Yeah.
All right, man. I don't know. I'm still in my heart of hearts rooting for our boy, but yeah. All right, there we go. Looks like the players are just getting readied up.
All right, all right. Yeah, and Bonneth was practicing and streaming this morning, so I think he's a little bit warmed up. He actually uh even played in the BWCL, so he's been staying a little bit active this morning to make sure he's good to go for the
Dude,
IPSL match today.
love to see people playing in BWCL. It is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I think his team is in like fifth place or something like that. We were contesting for first place, and he just decided to show up today and blast Kyrie and kind of ruin our
Nice.
chances of getting first place today. So appreciate that, Bonna.
Oh, one player shows up, the other one leaves. Dang it. All right. That's fine. We'll get everyone together real quick.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's a lot easier when you're in person. You get to yell at everyone. The online events, it's
I'd
like,
imagine so. Yeah.
yeah, it's like at Philly, Joe, who is running all the brackets and admin stuff. He just run around like,
Hmm.
you two, you should be playing now. And just tell people to basically put their butts in a seat and go. And it's like, yes, you need that, but it's so much harder to do on Discord.
It is. It really is. People walk away and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, well, because it's like if someone goes to the bathroom when you're in person, it's like, oh yeah, like he's in the bathroom. Here, it's like, you coming? Where are you at?
Yeah. And it's always like awkward because you're like awkwardly telling the other person like, "Oh, sorry, I don't know where he went. We're just waiting.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back soon. I don't know." Yeah.
The nice thing about this group is that it's all people who like have played together a bunch and like generally know each other. So it helped where everyone's like, oh yeah, this guy's taking his sweet time, you know.
Yeah.
All right, man. You know what else is great?
What's that?
IPSL. You know what makes IPSL great?
Let us know. Tell us all about it.
All the people who come out and help support the event. Like all the people who click on the support link and they go to the Patreon or the Ko-Fi or support directly on the website. You know, and every dollar you're going towards more Brood War. Yeah, it's making lands happen, stuff like that. You know, and $10 a month you're getting all the replay packs on any of the platforms. So if you want to watch these games back in your own time, this is how you do it. $10 a month. And of course that goes to paying our incredible casters like Ozzy and Zun and Rice Hat. It goes to paying the players because round of 16 they all earn money. Like, I don't know if anyone's looked at this, but if we scroll up here, yeah, it isn't much, but it's $40 guaranteed for everyone who made it into the round of 16, and it
Yeah.
only goes up from there. And all that's because you guys sub, you guys donate bits, you go to the website and support, you go on the Patreon or the Ko-Fi and you give monthly. All of these things help us continue to put on this event and everything else we do, guys. Obviously, CS Land's coming up in this summer, and the top 4 players from here will get invites and money to help travel to CS Land, and that's all because you guys help out and support the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I talk about it all the time. Anytime I talk about any sort of like supporting and stuff, right? It's we do this because we genuinely have a love and passion for it. It's really nothing else that makes us want to do this thing. And so yeah, that support just allows us to keep doing this. And you know, we're doing it for you guys just as much as we're doing it for ourselves. But yeah, it's just your love of StarCraft fuels our love of StarCraft, and you know, it's just kind of give and take relationship there, basically, in this little Brood War community that we have. So
Yeah, it's incredible how much the community comes together for things like this too.
yeah,
Like everyone comes out of the woodwork because it's like, oh wow, it's like a cool event. We got a cool people playing in it, and it's just all of a sudden everyone's talking about it.
yep, yep.
And we have a great community here, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
We really do for how small of a community we have here in Brood War. It's it kind of shows just how much that the people that remain like really love the game because we get a fair amount of stuff considering how few people we have here in the foreign scene for Brood War. We
Yeah,
actually have a fair amount of content constantly coming out.
that's true. Wolfix, I don't know if you caught it. He made a video about his round of 24 group, how
I
he
did.
got
I
out with
saw
the
him.
111. I'm
Yeah,
curious to see what video comes out of his round of 16 group.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. Yeah, what was that video? It was something like how I got out of my group in IPSL, and the next one's gonna be how I got blasted in my next group in IPSL.
Yeah, basically. How I got utterly stomped. Oh,
But
but
you
it
know,
is really
I
cool to see players doing replay. Like Artosis, he did the 1% better video.
mm,
That video actually kind of sticks out in my mind a lot because it's like it's such a neat format of what he's doing with that. And
right.
just like, oh, take a game. What did I do wrong here? What's the one thing I'm gonna pull from this? You know?
Yeah. No,
And
it's
also his
actually not a
OG
bad
like
approach at
travel
all.
vlog for going to Philly. It really felt like old
Yeah.
YouTube, and it was cool. Some of the younger like StarCraft 2 guys were like, "Oh, it's so terribly paced. You see like an editor." I'm like, "No, it's like it's the exact video he wanted to make. It's the exact
Yeah,
video I
it's
wanted to watch."
yeah, we're old, okay? All us Brood
No,
War players, we're old.
no way.
We we like our nostalgic vibe. We don't that's intentional 100%. That's what we want for sure. We
Yeah,
don't need it
it's
to be like edited down and fast paced and super memey and all that stuff. Like
no, it's something that he put his heart into, and he enjoyed traveling. He enjoyed doing the video, like the
yeah.
packing thing, right? It was one of those things where it's like, damn, I'm bad at packing. Clearly, Toast has got like fucking everything. It's like a commercial. It's like, check out our backpack.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, looks like our players are finally ready, so we can get on into our next best of one, guys. Bonus versus Eon Zerg.
Yeah, should be good.
All right, here we go.
All right, spawning here in the top right corner, our Polish Protoss player Boneth. And I shouldn't have said Polish because now I feel obligated to tell you where Eon Zerg is from, and I don't remember. Spawning here in the bottom left corner, we have Eon Zerg.
Okay, all right, hang on. I have the Wikipedia page still up. Give me a second here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, come on.
I gotta stop doing it. I gotta stop calling countries because I'm literally the worst for it, and I don't know why. I keep doing it on reflex.
Yeah, Zerg. He's Belgian. I wanted to say Belgian, but for some reason I'm like, no, Belgian doesn't seem right. But Wikipedia has him as Belgian. That's what I'm gonna go with. If it's wrong, you can blame Wikipedia.
It's funny because I got something in my head too, and I couldn't remember if because the last time we did it right, we got it wrong, and like everybody like
oh
spazzed,
god,
right?
yeah.
And so now it's like when I get in my head, I'm like, wait, is that correct or is that one I said wrong and it caused a lot of drama? I don't remember which one it was.
I do think we got him wrong last time, so like.
Yeah, we did the first time, yeah.
The simple answer is get him wrong, so that way chat blows up. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, yeah. All right, so we're gonna get that gate expand here from Bana. So I will say for Zerg, I'm pretty sure Zerg is usually not a fan of two-player maps, specifically not in ZVZ, basically.
Yeah.
Because you're guaranteed to get first scout, and it just makes expanding a pain, right? You can't really 12 hatch because 12 hatching means you're guaranteed to be fighting a cannon rush if they go forward to expand. So it's almost like you're forced into overpool, and then you're forced into overpool, and then it's like your hatchery, your expansion's going to be delayed. Zealots are going to be coming out against overpool, so it's kind of like almost guaranteed that you're in a bad position as Zerg here in the opening.
Yeah, the mentality of like when you get first scouted, at least for me, I'm always like, oh come on, why do they have to first scout me? So when it happens on two-player map, you're just like, no, from the start your mentality's just shot.
Exactly, and you see here it's already happening, right? Eon tried to tuck a drone to try and sneak out this hatchery, but not going to work out for him. It's going to get blocked by the pylon, so now we have to make the decision. Do we wait for this pylon because he might cancel it? Do we send it towards the third? We're just going to do the hatchery here. So I actually kind of don't hate this response. I think this is a good response, especially if you're playing against, oh wow, we're going to cancel and reposition.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know about the canceling and repositioning.
I've never seen it, so I don't know, like, because what does that cost you? Like,
75?
like 66 minerals or something like that?
60 or 70, something like that.
It's something odd, yeah. So it's a little bit expensive. It's a little bit more than a drone, but, you know, you do have the correct mining position, so you don't have to...
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense if you want to take your normal third, right? Because otherwise you have to make a third hatchery here or just long distance mine it, so... Maybe in hindsight, this is actually pretty good for me.
So the big thing it affects is your larva count,
right?
Which against the gate first can be bad. Obviously, he's just going to get in here and start hammering away. But there's a point where if you cancel it, now any ling reinforcements you're going to have are going to be, 5-10 seconds delayed, 20, however long it took you to, cancel and rebuild. And that's why a lot of people don't. I guess it really depends on what your game plan is, right? If you don't plan on doing anything aggressive, if you don't need all the extra lings, if you think you're fine, you can kind of sneak away with it, but I personally never cancel it. I tend to throw mine in the wall here just for, like, having a wall because I'm really bad and I'm going to need a wall anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, it almost seemed like the way he put it, he was planning on canceling it, like he was baiting to cancel the pylon to reposition the hatchery.
Yeah.
It seemed very, very intentional.
Huh.
Okay, so we're actually doing Forge in the main, so we're going to get Cybercore at the wall, yeah. So this is basically a protect my upgrade way of building your Forge.
Yeah. The Cybercore obviously has a bit more health, right? It has less health than the Forge. Okay, well, never mind. I literally have never noticed that.
It's just that losing the core early doesn't really hurt you that much.
Yeah, because you don't need your Dragoons until later.
Exactly, because when the core dies, you should already have Citadel and Stargate building, so you can just rebuild the core later and it's fine. You don't have to worry about like an upgrading and getting canceled, right? So, yes, it technically costs a little bit more, and it is, yes, a little bit squishier, but I actually think generally, if you can get away with core in the wall, I think it's just typically better, especially against someone like Eon Zerg, who is notoriously aggressive, right?
Yeah.
Um, so I think it kind of makes sense. He's actually delaying a third base for quite a while. We're going for this kind of two base. Oh, it's
Hydroden.
wait, we're doing lurker. Okay,
Lurkers?
okay. So we're gonna mix it up a little bit from Eon.
Like a lurker contain? Ooh.
So there's a couple things this could be. I'm sure if I knew more about Zerg builds, I could tell you what it is already, but it's either gonna be the lurker bust, which I feel like never works to be honest, or it's gonna be that kind of lurker rush into like super heavy eco, which I
Yeah.
think is a really cool build. But I think somebody recently, I think it was, I don't remember who it was, but somebody recently tried it against either Bonneth or DeWalt, and it got absolutely dismantled.
Yeah,
But typically, I think it's a cool build.
it's a really cool idea, and especially if they're going heavy zealots. So back when like Zealot High Templar was a really common comp for people to play, it's really good because, you know, they're not going to have observer storm. It takes 2 storms to kill a lurker, things like that. But I don't know, that's just not the meta anymore, right? He was spinning this and it stopped. That's not enough time for range to have finished.
Yeah.
I think he started range or +1 and then canceled it once the Hydra showed up. That's not finishing.
Yeah, it was probably +1 for air. But after seeing the Hydras this early, it's like, oh, okay, we're definitely not doing mutas like this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get those extra cannons down, and I'm curious how many Hydras Eon's gonna make behind this, and if it's gonna be the lurker. We do have that double gas, so this really indicates to me that he's going for a lurker bust. So he's gonna use the Hydras, I think, to poke down the wall, and then make a bunch of lurkers and go for it. But
there's no lurkers morphing though.
yeah, is that a Spire just now?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Well, I did see Eon.
Oh,
it's dropped.
Oh my lord.
Wait, is Bonneth dead? We're getting slow dropped, and there's no way he sees us coming right now. Oh my god, maybe he does see it coming. He actually sniffed it out. Well, it's very hard to drop on top of these zealots, but we're gonna have to try at this point as Eon Zerg.
I don't know if he got any of the lings in the Overlord is the big question. He did. That'll buy enough time for the Hydras to get out.
Initially, yeah. And the Hydras are going to get out, so they're going to have movement speed. They're going to be able to start microing inside the base here. You know, there's no cannons here, so we're going to have to pull a bunch of probes to try and fight with our zealots. And I think we're going to get these Hydras cornered and actually cleaned up. The Corsairs here are also going to put a timer on these Overlords, so this is a great defense from Bonneth.
Such a cool idea.
Very nice awareness from Bonneth to even realize this was a possibility. This is such a unique build.
Such a cool idea.
So for him to have the awareness to be like, hey, this could be dropped. I think it's because he saw the Larry, he saw his 2 base, and he saw the Spire just now start. So outside of lurkers, this is the only thing it really could have been. But great defense from Bonneth. Really cool idea from Eon, but it's going to get deflected. You see it in the supply now. I mean, I think we have like 2 drones running minerals that are natural. So yeah, so we're pretty much out of it. It was a really cool idea from Eon, like you said. I really, really liked it. It's just that Bonneth, man, he's too sharp. He picked up on it.
If it had worked, that would have been so incredible. Could you imagine? That's the world we could be in. Unfortunately. Well, I mean, maybe the most predictable result is that we're going to have Bonneth and DeWalt in the winners match.
Yeah, it's the expected results. So it is what it is, but I really need to do a bit more Zerg research, I think, because I never seem to identify anything that's like slightly off meta.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a very unique build. It's not... I haven't seen someone do that in a hot minute, so it wasn't even on my mind.
Been a while. Yeah. It's just, I was looking at it and I was like, the only thing I could think of was lurkers, but you could kind of hear it in my voice, right? Where I was like this, but it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? I was like, it looks like lurkers, but it's not lurkers. So I'm confused, but okay. Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a world where you could go for a lurker contain there as like a follow-up, but that's, you know, it's that would be a feels bad contain at that point. Or maybe if you have one lurker in the Overlord. I don't know. At that point, you're delaying it pretty far.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
it's so tight on resources, right? Because he, like I said, it was 2 drones on his natural mining minerals. So,
Yeah, but he had both gases saturated, so he had a lot of gas income, which for
it
just Hydras is a little unnecessary. But oh well, it is what it is. You can only win so many
is
of
what
them.
it is.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break here while we get set up for the winners match. Best of 3, DeWalt versus Bonneth. Don't go anywhere. Back, guys. We are so back.
Yeah, we are back, and we are going to go into a matchup that we've all seen a million times. And these guys trade back and forth games so often that they've like never disappointed any series that I've ever watched. So we got Bonnet versus DeWalt coming up for our winners match, and both these guys kind of PvP gods and very evenly matched, like I said. So very excited for this one.
Yeah, honestly, I think this is probably going to be one of the best matches, just in general. Best of three between
Hmm.
these two. If this was the finals at best of seven, it would be right on. Like, that would be like, oh yeah, this is what we expect, right?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, we're getting this in a round of 16, best of three, to decide who gets out of the group.
Yeah. It's interesting because there's a decent likelihood that this is not the last time we watch these guys play each other in the tournament.
That's true.
But yeah, just going to do a quick introduction here. Spawning here in the top left corner, we have our Russian Protoss player DeWalt. His opponent spawning here in the bottom left, wearing the magenta color, my personal favorite for StarCraft. We have our Polish Protoss Bonnet.
The magenta color just pops so well on every tile set, and I think that's what it is.
It does, yeah. It always looks good. It's very easy to see, right?
Yeah.
And people actually ask me quite often, like I always pick it when I play VGH. I don't pick it in 1v1 because I don't want to give any advantages to my opponent. But when I'm playing BGH and I always pick magenta, people always ask me like, "Oh, why do you pick magenta?" And it's like because if I'm picking magenta, there's no excuse of my opponent being like, "Oh, it was hard to see on the minimap or something." I want to be outplaying them so much that they can see everything I'm doing, and I kill them anyway.
Yeah, just a giant magenta wave of carriers.
Yeah. Now, in 1v1, I don't have nearly the same level of confidence, so I pick, blue or something, but...
I always pick magenta for my 1v1 games, but also I've been mixing in a lot of yellow recently.
Yeah.
And it's just like that mental reset of having a second color. Of just like, oh man, I keep losing on magenta. All right, I'm just going to pick yellow, my second color. And then like you win a game just because you've reset your mentality. You're like, all right, we're good to go again.
It sounds troll, but unironically, okay, I'm not joking. When I'm using different colors, I swear it actually affects
your gameplay,
like my focus, right? Or something. Like there's something that's definitely changing when I play a different color. I'm so used to playing as teal versus red now from shift adding that when I'm not teal, I swear it's messing with my eyes.
Man, no, I get it. I just assume it's a mentality thing, like a mental thing. Like you just get so used to something, but it's probably the same reason I still have to play in German. Because I'm just committed now, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Does look like Bonnet is going to get first scout. DeWalt's going to get first scout. Bonnet went for an earlier scout and is going to get last scout. So, a little thing, but a slight advantage here for DeWalt means that he's probably got a little bit more mining done because of the later scout. And he's going to get inside with that probe, whereas Bonnet should not be able to. So that's a pretty big advantage, having that information advantage.
Yeah. It always sucks when you get first scouted and someone last scouts you. Yeah. And it's just the worst feeling in this game, I think.
I think for these players, it's not going to matter too much because they kind of do the same thing. It's either 1-gate robo or 2-gate robo. We don't see a whole lot of variation between these two players other than like maybe 10-12 or something every now and then mixed in.
Yeah.
But in like ladder games or anything like that, it can be kind of a big deal sometimes because you don't know if it's like a DT build or anything like that. Whereas, they got the probe in and they see everything. I was actually talking about these yesterday where it's kind of like in ZVZ. There's just that level of comfort that really makes a big difference. Like if you get first scout ZVZ and then they don't, or like vice versa, like you're kind of losing your mind thinking they can see everything I'm doing and I don't know what they're doing. Like it makes you so uncomfortable.
Yeah, when you have your overlord just parked on their main and you can see everything that's going on, it feels so much better.
Yeah.
Both going robo, 1-gate.
Yeah, so not super surprising. It's kind of what I was expecting, right?
Yeah. I mean,
and these guys have played each other 1,000 times.
Literally what I was about to say. These guys have played each other more than most people have played total games.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of a spotter pylon, potentially for later there.
All right,
And
so
it's going to come down to who wants to expand first, who wants to make more goons. We're going to get 2 gates. We're just mirror builds right now.
yeah, this is
And it
exactly
may
what I was
come
gonna
down
ask.
to, yeah, so it could just be mirrors, and it's going to come down to, there may be like no deviation. It's not unlikely at this point that there's just going to be 0 deviation. And it's going to come down to control and units, micro things like that, right?
Hmm. I was gonna ask if you think who will blink first, but with that, I don't. I think you're thinking no one's gonna blink first. Oh well,
Okay.
we lied. Yeah.
Yeah, so slight, we're gonna call it a slight blink from Bana. His eyelids like kind of went halfway down.
He winked.
Yeah, going observatory before support bay. Now this is still completely fine for Bonnet. It's not like this gives DeWalt any sort of big advantage. It allows Bonnet to get the vision advantage initially, right? Whereas he's going to be maybe be a little bit behind on the Reaver, but it's not that big of a deal. The observers, even if your opponent's like not going DTs, you should always go observers anyway, because just that vision is actually a massive advantage as well.
Yeah, it's crazy how much an observer can change a PvP game. Just being able to know, like, oh, the army, is falling back, or it's moving this way, or I see the shuttle just by accident. It makes
Yeah.
such a huge difference.
Yeah, and I think DeWalt's doing this because he knows that Bonnet. I'll be honest with you, I don't know that I personally have ever seen Bonnet make a DT early, or maybe ever in
Yeah,
PvP.
I can't think of a single time he has that I've casted at least.
Yeah, so I think DeWalt just kind of a little bit of mind game or metagaming, we'll say, going for that Reaver before the Observer. Like I said, even if he knows that his opponent's not going DT, you still want the Observer anyway for 2 reasons. You want to clear their Observers, and you want your own Observers for vision.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna have that slight, like I said, that slight advantage of the faster Reaver. Did Bonnet not make a shuttle yet, actually? So he might actually be very far behind on having shuttle Reaver versus this. So maybe it is gonna come into play. He's got a couple extra goons. Gonna try and jump forward and jump on top of this.
Oh
my God.
That's not
That-
something you see every day.
Was a pretty uncharacteristic mistake from both players, actually. A DeWalt walking way forward with his Reaver, and Bonnet Zealot attacking his own Dragoon.
Yeah. This is and then DeWalt's unit's just not shooting. This is what we would call not good.
Yeah, surprisingly, DeWalt kind of was winning that fight, but we do have the initial goons coming in here, so it's going to push it into Bonnet's favor, and Bonnet's going to push this back and going to be very happy. Both players going to be dropping their Nexus behind this push, but Bonnet is going to have that unit advantage now, and killing that shuttle and Reaver should give him a pretty big advantage on that Robo kind of progression there.
Yeah. I mean, there's just a world where DeWalt wins with that. If the Reaver hangs back and we pick off, the pylon stuff, right? Because the pylon's exactly what saves it here. Is the little AI pylon that you use to try and derp out the goons. And it did its job. This also just flew just past observer range. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of AI pylons, by the way.
Not a huge fan of AI. But, like, well, to be fair, I don't know if you are or not. Oh.
Right, 2 probes going down with that first shot. Bonnet's a little bit slow to react, though. Does take a second shot as well. So I think that was like 4 or 5 probes going down in total. So nice little win there for DeWalt. Going to get a slight probe advantage, most likely, from that. Bonnet was trying to intercept this, but DeWalt
There's
aware
a world
of
where
this
he
possibility
still
coming out of his goons.
No, now that he's in the fight, there's no chance.
Yeah, what an awkward angle for this fight, actually. We got the goons on the top side targeting the shuttles here on both sides, so the shuttle gonna go down for Bonnet, and it's gonna be saved for DeWalt, but the Reaver goes down for DeWalt, which is much more significant.
And we're close enough to just kind of face crawl it forward using its little mouth hand. Munch. Look at it go.
Don't get me off on that tangent again. I rage about the concept of this Reaver having this little foot to walk. It's so absurd. It's crazy.
Look, it's a street cleaning vehicle. That's just how they are.
Bit of a mistake there, I feel like, from Bonnet, but he's going to move forward and clear that shuttle, but unfortunately this goon's not going to be able to finish off that Reaver.
No.
And these guys are just going toe to toe here, trading blows nonstop. You know, I'm talking like they're making mistakes, which, you know, you can call them mistakes, but there's just so much action and fighting going on that it's very easy to make some missteps here and there, especially when both players are very ready to punish any mistakes that you make.
Yeah, these are two players who are at each other's level, pushing each other to the exact brink of what they can do.
Yeah.
And that's where StarCraft is its best.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got one Reaver and a shuttle here versus the two Reavers. Bit of a misclick there. Didn't quite get the pickup like we wanted on that Reaver. Reaver taking a pretty good bit of damage.
Oh.
And now the shuttle comes out with these two Reavers. And shuttle goes down as well, so if these goons die, then DeWalt can chase us down. So Bonnet has to be very careful not to let these goons die.
Look at it go. Look at it go. It is stupid, it's silly, but someone a long time ago thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, I just conceptually it doesn't make any sense to me, man. Like, somebody told me, so this was the argument. So while there's a little bit of a potential lax in action here while DeWalt's going across the map, somebody was telling me, like, oh, well, they did that because you can tell, like, they never invented the wheel, right? Okay, sure, I'll give you that. They don't have wheels, so this was the thought process.
You know what?
Come back to that in a second. How we're gonna catch this Reaver out in the middle without the shuttle, so the Reaver is gonna go down. We're gonna get the shuttle back as Bonnet, but we took a big Reaver shot there in return. Gonna pick off one Reaver and try to retreat.
Oh no!
But very few goons left over, and Bonnet might be in a bit of trouble. We do have this Reaver with a shuttle, so that will at least keep him alive. But we see DeWalt starting to take a little bit of a supply lead here, and now currently up 10 supply. Gonna run forward with all these goons and focus down that shuttle. Gonna take a couple big volleys in the meantime, though, so these goons are gonna pick off that Reaver.
There's a lot of Reaver damage there.
Exactly, yeah. Man, blow for blow, just back and forth, a seesaw of fighting over and over again. You know, I said it was gonna come down to, you know, micro and things like that, and that's what we're seeing is these constant little skirmishes, and one of them trying to get the edge, and it's just seesawing within like 10 supply back and forth over and over again.
Oh yeah, these guys, it is just. This is one of those fights where they're just going to keep punching. There is no defense. There is just continue punching.
Yeah.
At some point, one of them will fall.
This is one of those games where your defense is punching your opponent in the face, right?
Exactly.
Like, this is how you defend yourself.
If you punch them harder, you're in the lead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like those slap fighting competitions, right?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
literally not allowed to defend yourself, so the best defense is to knock your opponent out before they take you out.
You just gotta stand there and slap. Alright. Nice little concave there of goons. He's gonna fall back to the Reaver at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we don't. Do we not have a shuttle for DeWalt? I don't think we do currently. Oh, okay, just now coming out here. It's very, very important. Yeah, he's actually run out of gas temporarily, it looks like. I was going to say, are we full modding our gases? We should be.
Yeah.
I mean, he may have fixed it after if there was a mistake, but yeah, it just seemed like he went a little bit low on gas there and felt like he needed a Zealot to kind of continue production, probably.
I mean, Zealots have their uses. Like, they eat a lot of Dragoon shots, right?
Well, that's the thing. Zealots, they're not useless in this fight. Actually going to find these 3 goons here in the pocket, so that's pretty nice. We're all going to walk forward to try and punish him for walking forward here. And here's the kind of constant micro battle that we see, the pickup and drop-offs. But these Reavers from Bonnet way out of position. Did we get the Reavers from DeWalt as well?
Yes.
I didn't even realize they died.
At least one of them died. I didn't catch if the second one's in the shuttle or not. But the way he's running, I would assume not.
Yeah, I think he just had the one Reaver. So the second Reaver is crawling out here to defend DeWalt. Bonnet is out of his own Reaver, so just kind of pushing forward and fighting a little bit. But, I mean, once again, it's so evenly matched, this first game here.
No one has any shot of breaking in yet. And they both realize it, too. That's what makes it so interesting. Is they're both trying to push in there, and then they end up running into each other. Alright. I like this third base.
Yeah, third base from both players coming up. pretty much exactly the same timing. But yeah, 100%. You thinking 9 o'clock would be awful because the travel distance for like shuttles would be so frustrating to try and defend at the same time.
Here's a difference.
Big.
There's no forge yet for DeWalt.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, +1 is spinning for Bonus. Couple of safety, or at least a safety cannon. Another robo.
Another robo. This is pretty standard. Yeah, once you're locked into these games, usually the first one to tech out of Reavers dies, right?
Yeah.
So even though technically, like, Templar tech, I would say, is the counter tech, you just can't really get there because you'll be so far behind on Reaver. And
Yeah.
nice Reaver shot there on this Reaver from DeWalt.
I think we might be doing it. I think Bonus might have finally started snowballing enough with these tiny victories together. I mean, Reaver shots like that, oh my lord.
God.
Yeah, Reaver shots like that definitely don't help. And it's a massacre on both sides. Mass grave of Dragoon goo.
Yeah, when the dust settles, everybody's dead. That's what we're looking at right now.
Oh, we got a Manor Pylon.
The 15.5-minute Manor Pylon from DeWalt. That is also.
And it locks 2 mineral lines. I like to point that out here. It actually blocks 2 patches.
So even though this isn't like necessarily doing a lot of damage, it's just distracting for Bonnet, right? Because he's got to send his units back over there to try and clear it and then bring them back and stuff. So,
yeah,
you know, when sometimes you get to that level where your APM is a very important resource, right? Your focus and your attention is a very important resource. So having to deal with like these little minute things can actually start throwing you off just a little bit. Kind of messes your rhythm up a little bit.
I'm surprised
and
he
we
hasn't
see
tried to
your
put a
DeWalt
cannon here.
Yeah, DeWalt got a sneaky little runaround here while kind of pulling Bonnet back and forth. And this is what I mean. Like, we pulled a bunch of units over here and then did this kind of tricky backstab onto the spot where we pulled the units a few seconds later. Gonna kill a lot of probes. This is really nice damage from DeWalt. And these goons are forfeit. They're going to try and trade as best they can. But this is nice eco damage. So as long as he doesn't take any, you know, counter punch damage, this is a lot of probes that went down.
And I mean, the thing is, they will trade well because you're trying to get Dragoons up a ramp to fight them. And that's just never going to end well.
Yeah, and DeWalt pokes in with 4 goons to just snipe 1 probe and back up. Like, these are those little things that really, really matter in these tight matchups.
Bonus, I don't think, is scouted the 3rd base yet for DeWalt.
Yeah, but he can assume that it's up at this point.
Yeah, he definitely should be assuming that. I'm just surprised he hasn't tried to go for it, like with a, you know, build a 2nd shuttle, get a Reaver over there, and just drop in the middle line. Great Reaver shot. Good lord.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how far forward he went with these Reavers, and it turned out good for Bonnet.
Yeah.
I thought that was a mistake, but it actually turned out really, really good for him. That shuttle just 1 love tap away from dead, too.
This requires the Mythbusters level. Don't try what you see at home, kids. These are what we call experts.
Yeah. So he's going to win that fight and transition it into a little bit of a light push here at the 12 o'clock spawn. There's this fat pylon wall to try and dig through, so this is going to buy DeWalt plenty of time to get over here. But this Reaver is at least going to get in here and disrupt this a little bit. And I think there's a Reaver going to 6 o'clock as well on the other side of the map. Or just a probe, okay. But DeWalt going to get the Reavers up here and kind of defend here in this little choke area. Bonnet realizing it's not going super well for him. I'm actually going to back up and catch these goons on the backside. So a little bit of an interesting flank decision coming out for DeWalt. But got his money disrupted a little bit. Did a few goons kind of run by here. We did build those cannons, but they're going to get caught before they finish. And, you know, Bonnet's going to defend this, not take any damage.
+1 versus +0. And it's really starting to show, I think, in these fights. Like, even though it's like in that big fight where the Reavers were forward, I think the +1 there, obviously the Reaver shot that hit like 8 goons or whatever was ridiculously good, but I think also +1 is really starting to show how good it is.
Yeah, it can start making a difference. It can start adding up. We're going to go once again for a little bit of a run by here on the right side while a bigger fight is happening in the middle of the map. So Bonnet's going to bring his Reavers back into pin here while also pushing back here on this side, but there are these Reavers here, so I don't know if he's paying attention. Going to take some big Reaver shots here, going to start to try and split. So we got microing happen on both sides, and this is the chaos that can happen in these kind of games. looks like we did pick up that shuttle and reinforce with our own Reavers here. One Reaver does go down, but we are going to clean up on this side of the fight. And I think we'll be able to defend pretty easily on this side as well. 10 kills on this Reaver as well. Going to be able to clean these up. Nice defense from Bonnet so far. I assume we got that plus 25 damage for our Reavers as well. Looks like
yes.
we did, yeah.
Both players do have it.
Yeah. Yeah, not getting it would just be a huge mistake at this point, but you know, gotta check those little things sometimes, you know.
We have committed to just +1. We haven't tried to get armor or shields or anything.
Yeah, DeWalt starting to fall pretty far behind in supply. That was a cute little play he went for, but Bonnet won on both fronts, and there's just a big army advantage right now for Bonnet. And these two Scarabs actually get connections with those two Reavers, so they're going to be very, very soft now. It does have 3 Reavers, but it's almost impossible to juggle 3 Reavers, especially with just one shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to be a little bit careful when you're getting like too much all at once, because even when you see like the Reaver harass, you know, where they like unload, fire, reload, and like kind of do that back and forth shooting at their own Reavers.
Yeah.
Usually they only do it with 1 Reaver because it's just too easy to mess up sometimes with 2. And like one little misclick or not being perfect with it, and suddenly you're down a Reaver.
Yeah, and you can fall into the trap of Brood War of, well, sometimes the game just doesn't do what you're expecting it to, you know?
Exactly. Oh, okay, another connection there on the Reaver there for DeWalt, so getting a little bit spooky for DeWalt. These Reavers are all, I think they've all taken 1 shot at this point, so they're a little bit squishy out of shields. And Bonnet right now is just going to hold across the bridge and maybe look to kind of play this micro game with DeWalt. Or pivot back towards that 12 o'clock spawn. Keep chipping away at these pylons. Looks like we're going to do exactly that. So we're just going to take out these pylons and probably back up. There's no way he tries to force his way up the ramp after this, but it's going to at least force DeWalt to remake these pylons, or if he doesn't, then that becomes an actual attack position for Bonnet later.
Yeah, he's trying to push the army back and forth, looking for openings, seeing what he can. And killing these pylons is going to create an opening later if he chooses to go for it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, look at this, we got, what, 7 goons up here just in case there's a counterattack?
Does DeWalt not have shuttle speed? I don't think he does. Bonnet definitely does. Yeah, DeWalt never got shuttle speed.
Look how slow that is.
Yeah. That is very rare to not have shuttle speed in a game like this.
Yeah, I'm actually really confused. It feels like DeWalt's just kind of... I don't know. It all comes back to that missing gas, I think. I don't know if he just didn't saturate his natural or whatnot. But it feels like he just has been missing gas, and that's led to missing some things that he should have.
Hmm. Yeah, we do have this little Reaver drop down here on the bottom side, which is going to cause Bonnet to evacuate. And we have some goons, actually, that snuck out from the top. Oh, another Reaver shot, though, with a shuttle here. Not ideal for DeWalt. But these goons are going to show up and kind of change the tide here a little bit. Going to take down that shuttle and Reaver, but a big shot, actually, before it goes down. Going to take out a few goons. And now Bonnet is like, fine, I guess I have to respect this. He's going to have to abandon the hold that he had, or he risks losing this base. Nice little counter attack here from DeWalt, kind of getting himself out of a really bad position, because trying to push across that bridge would be a nightmare. And there's the unit that I just said I've never seen Bonnet make before. So,
I mean, to be fair, we are at 23 minutes. At this point, DTs are just better zealots, you know?
Yeah, true. Right, nice little dance there, but the Nexus actually goes down. Luckily for Bonnet, if you want to call it that, he does at least have another Nexus that is just finished up. So it's not going to hurt him too bad. And DeWalt did lose a lot of army to do that. So Bonnet, though, not going to be mining in the meantime while he gets that transfer going and remakes this next Nexus. So there's going to be a little bit of catch-up there in that economy for DeWalt right now, where he's kind of replenishing his army, whereas Bonnet cannot. I mean, you see, like, he's just not getting money, right?
Yeah. So at this point, the best he can do is just kind of posture outside the bridge. You don't really want to attack into me, do you? But at the same time, he did get his side storm. He's gone into the Templar attack. He is ready with Storm, presumably. I mean, if you have Templars at 24 minutes, you don't have Storm. I can't help you at that point. But presumably he does, and that means he is ready for the transition. And Storm is free. Once you have the Templar, Storm is free.
Yep, Storm is just time, basically. Ooh, big Reaver shot, though, on both of those Reavers. But yeah, we are into that Templar tech, so we did get there. I mean, the game did drag on long enough that it becomes an option. Nice Storm.
Oh!
Reaver.
Turning a Templar for a Reaver.
I'm so invested in this game that I just tried clicking the units through the Discord screen.
I've done that sometimes because I'm so used to observing. Where I'm like, hang on, I want to check something. And I click on the minimap and it just minimizes to the cameras. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, Bonnet's just kind of sitting out here and just going for the good trades while he lets his extra economy pick kick in here. But nice pick on these Reavers. We do have another counterattack coming across the map in the meantime for Bonnet, but for DeWalt, but is he going to be able to defend himself in the meantime across this bridge? It looks like he's just barely going to hold on with reinforcements. And this counterattack might kill this Nexus again. He's going to have to micro around the DT a bit, which actually bugged out the goons quite a bit, and he's actually going to ban it. This DT, I feel like, just kind of saved the game for Bonnet a little bit.
Yeah, the DT forcing it back is wild. I was like, oh, he's going back for an observer, which I guess makes some sense. It's like, on the one hand, it's like, okay, it's just one DT. Can it really stop you from killing it? But yes, he's like,
yeah,
maybe.
You can micro around and do it, but it's extremely time consuming, right? Trying to do like the stutter stepping and avoiding taking the hits, and it might be that he just felt like it would take too long, and that Bonnet would be able to get back and catch those goons, and he didn't want to risk forfeiting those goons. So he's actually going to check the right side here, and he's actually going to find this base as well. And you know, there's only 2 goons here on the bridge, and it's going to be able to defend for a little bit. It's going to buy time for the Reavers to get over and defend. We also have the fight happening across the bridge. These guys are almost always fighting on 2 places at once. We saw some Storms go down, but very aggressive Reaver drop onto these goons. And, I mean, this base is going to die. We can basically have, transfer these probes to 6 o'clock. But even though DeWalt breaks this base, which is great for him, there's no 4th base for himself either. Yeah. And the positioning and tech for Bonnet is looking really, really good.
All this does is equalize for DeWalt.
Actually, we're bringing Reavers across. We also have another fight happening at the same time again, so a bunch more Storms and Reavers coming out here to fight with these goons.
Oh,
and I think there's too much here for... No, I think there's too much here for... Yeah, Bonnet's going to be able to just smash this, and I think that's going to do it. This Reaver... 2 Reavers actually going to be able to push this back. And yeah, I don't see a way out anymore for DeWalt. Really cool counterattacks to try and get himself back in. I definitely saw a lot of the potential. If he, could have denied the bottom right at the same time as well. Could have easily swung in his favor after sniping the Nexus, but...
We have like 1,000 minerals here. That's about it.
Yeah, he's running very, very low. Another counterattack going on at 6 o'clock, but I think that DT is still there defending. There is that observer at least, so... I mean, he's going to get these 2 goons in here and stop it, but his only mining is being completely shut down now. And, there's still the bottom right corner mining in the meantime. These Reavers going to rejoin here to defend. GG. Going to be typed out there from DeWalt. Crazy first game. That was like the most back and forth, like slugfest I've ever seen between these 2 guys. Bit of a laugh there from Bonnet as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I looked over at Bonnet's cam as the game ended, and he was like, basically. Like he was grabbing his earbud out.
These guys are so evenly matched, man. I feel like 90% of the time I watch these guys play, it's like they're just beating the crap out of each other. Like,
yes.
Yeah. It's like base trades and like coming down to the wire so often with these guys. So great first game there for these 2.
And I think that's what makes it so much fun to watch them, right? Is that you'll get this, and you never really know who's going to win until like halfway through the game. It's not like DeWalt's favored or, Bonnet's favored. It's like, no. They really just trade out games so often that you really have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sick.
And that's awesome to watch a good, just an incredible game like that.
Yeah, super sick game. I hope my monotone doesn't take away from the experience for you guys. I know I'm very monotone. I've also lost my voice a good bit these last few days.
No, I don't think so.
You can't hear my voice, but I swear to you, I was psyched about that game. Like
I believe it. I believe it 100%.
Yeah, I love StarCraft. Just don't listen to the sound of my voice, or you won't believe me.
But we love the sound of your voice. That's why we have you here. Oh man. Well, it looks like the players are ready for our next game.
All right. Going to be on knockout. And if DeWalt takes this one, we are actually going to be moving to Tempest of all maps. So
Yeah,
very curious to
Tempest.
see what happens there if we get there.
If DeWalt takes it, we're gonna have to pull up the map image for Tempest because I don't think most people here
Yeah.
have ever heard of it.
I had to, yeah, I was asking you questions about it. Um, Trying to remember which the map even was, right? Because I
Yeah.
couldn't even quite, I wasn't even sure if I was correct, but here we
I,
go. Spawning in the top left corner, we have our Protoss player DeWalt currently down 0-1 after an absolute slugfest. His opponent spawning here in the top right corner. Once again, wearing that magenta color, we have our current leader, Bonif.
Also, for everyone watching in chat, this is something that's come up a couple of times. What, generally speaking, what'll happen is we have our player scoreboards here. Where we have DeWalt and Bonif, their names here. That correlates to left and right on the cameras. So this is DeWalt's cam. If you've never seen him, this is Bonif.
There we go. Is there what is this something they did? Their cameras like quite
No.
off center, so they're
Oh well, yes, their cameras are horrible. DeWalt's I could probably fix a little bit, but he gave it to me so late that I didn't get a chance to actually edit it.
Gotcha,
And he keeps turning it off when he's done playing. So like between matches, I'm like, oh, let me fix it. No.
Gotcha.
It is, but honestly, I think there's something to players that have really bad camera angles. You know?
Well, it's funny because yeah, the reason I brought it up is because I haven't seen, IPSL or BSL like.
Galen, thank you. Sorry,
anytime I've seen, no, you're good. Anytime I've seen like the player cameras, like it just makes me feel like we're just that old, right? Like we can't seem to get cameras right. Like something so basic, and it's like we got these like goofy camera angles that they're like cut off in weird spots, or like it's just there's always something wrong. I love it.
I can't remember if it was Brood War StarCraft 2. There's one guy where his camera is basically just pointed at his forehead. And like that's it, and it's just like, all right, like that's a camera angle, I guess you can use.
That's funny.
But yeah, it's so many people just angle their cameras in weird ways.
Did DeWalt? Looks like he skipped 14 Zealot, so it's gonna be a slight eco advantage here for DeWalt because of that.
Huh. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean this can be, it's got its ups and downs. But if they're not going 10-12 and they don't first scout you, skipping the 14 Zealot feels awesome, and it's actually gonna be last scout, so.
Yeah.
It's a small thing, but it's a decent advantage for DeWalt because it means it's going to be up like a probe and a half essentially.
Yeah, it does mean that the scout will get in, which just that's a little sad, but the same because especially because his isn't going to get in because Bonnet went for the 14 Zealot. But at the same time, it's not exactly the end. The end of the world.
Yeah. I haven't seen it very often on this map, and I'm kind of surprised that I don't. I actually really like 10-12 on this map, because if you get first scout, you get to mine those minerals out, and then they can't block the ramp properly, and it's actually super strong, but I just never see anybody going for it on this map, surprisingly.
People just aren't as smart as you. I think that's the real answer here. Also, we're going to get the Robo here a little bit later versus a 2-gate follow-up from DeWalt.
Yeah, so going to be some light pressure here from DeWalt. He's going to be up in goons. He won't have that as Zealot, right, because of the non-14 Zealot, but he's going to go up to, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 goons probably, and do a little bit of a push out here and just kind of a light pressure.
Yeah.
From what I've always seen, I prefer the Gate Robo versus the 2-gate Robo.
Yeah, I feel like Gate Robo's counterpoint. Bonnet is probably going to go Observers first again, which means he won't have that Reaver out quite as quick. So if you go for the quick Reaver, you're easily holding something like this, right? But really, it is just going to be gateway versus gateway units, and 2 gates does produce more than 1 gate in the long term.
Right. Yeah, my brain tells me that crawl expand is like a really hard counter to 2 gate. But I think you're right. I think Bonnet isn't going to go for that. I think we are going to see that observatory burst. Yeah. Well, it's going to be
both.
so. It'll be shuttle observer Reaver, most likely is what it's going to be.
Although this will come through, and he might now start Reaver first once the Robo Bay is done, seeing that there's pressure being put on. Unless he's confident he can hold it. But double pro block on the ramp. To me, that would be like an alarm bell. I'd be like, wait a minute. Why are you still blocking at this point? What are you hiding here?
Yeah, I wonder if he does actually cut the observer and goes crawl expand now. I would love to see that from Bonnet. It looks like he might be doing that with the position of this probe. So I think he realized by the goon count this was 2-gate. And I actually think he adjusted the crawl expand. I absolutely love that call from Bonnet. That's beautiful.
And yeah, this is just what happens when you play the game a lot. You know, you know, you're able to see what you see, read what you're seeing, and then react accordingly.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh,
very aggressive here from Dwal, but he's on the low ground exactly. Like the goon count was decent for him, but he's gonna take that kind of bad trade because of the low ground. And yeah, we got this weird back and forth actually where they're pulling each other in the low ground. Reaver gonna come out, so gonna be perfectly safe now. DeWalt did expand behind this, but I don't. Can we check what his tech is towards Reavers for DeWalt? Okay, we are at least working on it, so it should be coming out relatively soon.
These guys expand so quick in PvP.
Yeah, when you got these Robo versus Robo builds, it actually opens up the opportunity to expand. A lot of ladder games, expanding is dangerous because people play like absolute monkeys all the time and you have no idea what's coming, but...
Protoss players playing like monkeys? What?
Hard to imagine, right? But yeah, definitely in these more standard Robo builds, kind of mirrors or matchups a little bit, you'll see that natural coming up way more often.
It's cool to see macro PvP. I feel like anything that's below this level, everyone's too scared to expand. Like, especially like, you know, you're used to ladder where someone's going to do something very apish and you're going to feel like Artos is screaming at the fact that you lost. But at this level, they know what they're doing. They understand how it's going to play. And they're just going to expand and macro up. And I think that's a lot more fun.
Yeah, 100%. Can't disagree. All right, so what's DeWalt's play going to be from here? He knows he's a little bit behind on the Reaver tech. It's not going to be too bad, right? There shouldn't be any engagements where he's like bad down on Reavers or shuttles or anything like that. He's doing a little bit of a wrap out round. Maybe, you know, this could have easily turned into one of those space trade situations if Bonnet was being aggressive. But this is going to get DeWalt on the high ground, which is exactly what he's looking for. So he's going to be pretty happy with that. He's got the observer down here too, kind of monitoring the front of Bonnet. So I think, actually, I take that back. He saw that the army was staying home for Bonnet, and he's can kind of assume that Reaver was coming, or the observer was coming across the map, maybe even saw it. And it went around like that to kind of sneak onto this high ground.
Oh,
yeah, nice little
reaction.
Bait. Yeah. No damage taken. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Gonna catch him off guard with these goons from the high ground. Gonna jump on top of this, kill one Reaver and the shuttle. The goons are gonna jump on top of DeWalt's goons, so he is gonna have to retreat.
That hit.
This observer was coming back trying to find out where those Dragoons were, but he didn't find it in time. So nice little surprise attack there from DeWalt. And again, he denies the money for even longer here on the natural. Does lose a lot of his goons on the retreat. And it basically, it's going to come down to, can Bonnet kind of punish here? He doesn't have a shuttle to bring his own Reaver, so it's going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, he's got a lot of goons, but he has to fight through that trench, which we saw earlier wasn't great for DeWalt.
Yeah.
Oof, it looks like a Scarab did get those probes this time.
Yeah, Robkin is looking a little bit light there on the natural 4. Bonnet did get a Reaver, or sorry, get a shuttle out to bring his Reaver over here. Has a lot of goons, but again, like you pointed out, it's very hard to push into the natural here with this trench and 2 Reavers on this high ground, and a shield battery as well behind it.
Yes.
DeWalt kind of knows that Bonnet is going to be looking to put on some pressure because he did kill a lot of goons, and his eco did take a pretty big hit. And this is just a super defensive position from DeWalt, and honestly, I feel like you could have almost twice as many goons as Bonnet here. I don't think you can break that.
Yeah, it's so hard to get through, especially because the angle you're coming through, right? You're going to be coming down and over. So you're going to get stuck in, like, these corners here.
Yeah, you got this forward pylon to screw the goons up. You got the Reavers here, and they're going to be fighting through a trench, like, and shield battery behind it. This is such a powerful defensive position. It's crazy.
Yeah. The moment, like, 3 goons get stuck here shooting at the pylon, nothing else matters in your army, because these are the only 3 goons that are getting this far.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh. We're going to push out here, and Bonnet thinks about diving for it. Realizes that might not be the smartest thing he's ever done.
Yeah, gonna try and jump on top of these Reavers, but quick reaction there from DeWalt. Gonna trade 1 goon for 1 goon here. Kind of a tedious position for both players to try to fight through. And
oh!
Ooh, DeWalt not paying attention. Oh my god, for free. He's doing a little bit of a kind of a... I don't know if this is a full-on counterattack. It's not a lot of goons, and the reinforcements from Bonnet should be way more than enough, yeah, to deal with this. He might be able to snipe a Reaver, though, which would be nice, but DeWalt not paying attention because he's trying to do the fight here at the same time. Goons are going into the natural now. Nice Reaver shot there onto Bonnet. Does land. Bonnet's not looking at no Reaver or Scarabs on that Reaver, yeah, so it goes down for free, and now Bonnet's going to be scrambling a little bit, trying to manage this fight while also defending at the same time, whereas DeWalt really just needs to focus on this fight mostly. I think DeWalt is getting the better end of this exchange overall. The reinforcing goons looks like they will be enough to be able to shut this down. And this fight is kind of going in Bonnet's favor, I think. That Scarab or that Reaver not going down because of the shield battery. But a second Reaver does show up.
The problem is it also wasn't shooting because it kept stopping to heal.
Yeah. And again, we have another slugfest here, but it looks like it's coming out in Bonnet's favor, surprisingly, actually. Oh my god.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's rough, buddy.
And DeWalt's going to defend, but at what cost? That Reaver shot, that Reaver had like 20 plus kills, I think.
Yeah.
By the time that finally went down.
It was solid 8 to 10 of them were probes right there at the end.
Yeah. You know, pretty sick swing there for Bonnet. I was like really worried. I thought this was going great for DeWalt with this counterattack. And, you know, those reinforcing goons on the high ground really shut down that counter. And then Bonnet's, you know, really focusing on this fight here at DeWalt's front and just went super well. So
it's all just decision making. Like,
yeah,
they just feel like Bonnet knew, all right, I don't need to worry about this. I need to focus on this. You know, and DeWalt trying to do multiple things at once, lets something slide, lets another thing slide, and suddenly, you know, he's in a really bad spot.
Yeah, and just like last game, for whatever reason, both players dropped their Nexus at the exact same time again. Like, these guys just have it like built into their brain that it's time for the 3rd Nexus, and it's slightly faster for DeWalt, but it's generally around the same time.
You win a fight, you take a base. You lose a fight, you take a base.
Seems like it, right? But these fights are like such trades. Even though I felt like that went great for Bonnet at the end of the day, it's not like DeWalt's out of the game. Supply is still like pretty much dead even.
I think that says a lot more about DeWalt than anything, because he was definitely down like 10 suppliers so at the end of that fight.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he's brought it back, I mean, you know, it's continuously stepping, but he's bringing that gap down closer and closer.
Yeah, Bonnet does have a bigger bank over DeWalt at least, and there he just spins it now. But we'll see what he can kind of do with his, you know, advantage, we'll call it. Reaver's going to sneak in here behind the mineral line again, going to go for a shot, but I think that Scarab is doomed to dud.
I don't know. Last time this happened, that was CSL Pro Spring, I think. there was like 20 probes returning because he thought, oh, it's gonna done. And he'd send them back, and then they all died.
Well, that was kind of why I hesitated as I was saying it, because I was like, it's gonna dud, and then it started to slip through the pylon, and I was like,
No, no, no,
okay.
no, 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 no. I feel like anyone who's
Nice
ever
little
played
catch.
against Reavers has that mentality of like, it's gonna dud, right? It didn't dud.
Yeah, right.
Or it's gonna hit, and then it does, and you're like, "Gah, come on!"
All right, fight gonna kind of break out here in the middle a little bit. DeWalt had a really nice arc, so he's gonna pick off at least one goon there as he brings his Reavers into reinforce. And actually a little bit of a flank here, but he is fighting almost entirely from low ground, but it's a very nice flank. Big Reaver shots here in the center of that pack of goons as well. These Reavers kind of exposed now for Bonnet on the outside. Shuttle kind of scrambling to pick them up and reposition them just a little bit. First Reaver does go down. Second Reaver going to be getting very, very low, and it goes down as well. Is DeWalt actually breaking through here? We still have both Reavers alive, and the last Reaver for Bonnet goes down.
Yeah,
and
that
oh my
might be
god,
the
I
end
think
this
all of a
position.
sudden Bonnet crumbled.
DeWalt is just kind of good at the game, guys. I don't think it's over yet, but like,
Yeah, a lot of reinforcing goons at least show up for Bonnet, so he is actually going to clear this up. But that was a really strong trade there for DeWalt. But I guess when the dust settles, how dare I say it's going in someone's favor? It is pretty much still dead even, so...
yeah, it's the supplies are about where they were, just minus like 15 on each side.
Yeah, I didn't realize Bonnet had a lot of goons, I think, in position at his natural, is what it looked like. Maybe in his main a little bit, worried about the trying to catch Reavers potentially coming in.
Yeah.
But that looked really scary for a second. When all the Reavers from Bonnet went down and we still had two from DeWalt, I actually thought this third was going down.
Yeah, that's definitely a game-ending moment if you don't have enough reinforcements popping out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, +1's cooking away. DeWalt getting a forge this time.
All right.
Wonder if he's like, you know what, +1, that was a really good idea. I should try that.
Yeah, well, just you get so much value for just such a small investment, right? But
Oh yeah.
another fight breaking out here. A couple of zealots mixed in for DeWalt, which I do actually like in these fights here. Does catch the Reaver that was a little bit left alone there, so it does go down for Bonnet. Then Bonnet all of a sudden down 20 supply again.
Yeah, Bonnet just didn't have enough to take that fight, I don't think. It was like in raw numbers. And then there's a few goons that are going to come up from the top here, too. It just seems like DeWalt's coming in from every angle possible each time.
Yeah, big Reaver shot there on the Reavers and Goons, but this is looking a little bit scarce here for Bonnet right now. Does get one of the Reavers picked off, loses his shuttle though, gets one more shot off, but it does get dodged by that shuttle, and two Reavers just popped out for Bonnet, so I think he's going to be able to defend. Needs to make sure he doesn't lose too many probes here. Okay, there's the probe pull to avoid the Reavers. I do like that. And picks off that Reaver as well because I guess the shuttle, I didn't even realize the shuttle died for DeWalt. I didn't see it happen.
Yeah, it must have died just off screen. Or just to the goons in the mess of the fight.
Yeah, I think it was just during the mess it must have been picked off. Probably on the tail end of it or something. Or so many things to try and focus on happening in the fight. It's like so many different like targeting and stuff, going on.
Yeah, they are gaming.
Once again, Bonnet was down 20 supply at one point during that fight. The dust settles, and guess what, guys? Dead even on supply. It is crazy how evenly matched these two players are.
Well, this could swing it.
Yeah, Bonnet hasn't been doing a whole lot of just straight up Reaver harass like this, and it might have kind of lulled potentially DeWalt to sleep some because I think this is the
There's
first
like a 24 workers
straight
here.
Reaver drop. Yeah, I think this is the first straight Reaver drop that Bonnet has done. DeWalt not looking initially, takes two huge shots here. Oh my god. That mineral line gets absolutely evaporated. And now these Reavers can be picked up and taken home. Gonna even try to get a couple shots here before... Oh, a little bit of a mistake, actually. Or maybe not. Maybe we're just trying to absolutely optimize these Reavers. We saw that goon count and we thought we'd win this fight. How dare I say Bonnet was making a mistake. He's trying to just clear these goons almost.
He ran out of scarabs. Otherwise, he might have actually killed both of these goons. There's absolutely a world where that fight just goes in his favor.
Yeah, and this is the difference between, like, I feel like players like me and like the top level players, right, where it's like I saw that and I was like, oh nice, he's gonna optimize and get, one free goon kill, but then he just stays with the fight and I'm like, ooh, he's making a mistake. But Bonneth sees what I don't see, obviously, right? Like he's like, oh, I
Yeah.
can, it's only like 10 goons, like this is an easy fight for me. I can trade against this so well.
Well, yeah, like like I said before, don't try what you see here at home, kids. Anyone else does that, you lose easily.
This is the game-losing moment here for DeWalt, actually. We picked off that shuttle
Yeah.
with the Reaver inside. The second Reaver goes down. Still 2 Reavers alive for Bonnet, so he's going to clean this fight up easily. GG, going to be called. Bonnet's going to take the 2-0 over DeWalt and win his group. Congratulations to Bonnet. Crazy,
Damn.
crazy. It was only 2 games, and I feel like these guys just went through a freaking, war.
I mean, that was like 40 minutes of gameplay still, even if it
Yeah.
was.
It's nonstop, man. Like, it's got to be exhausting. Even though it was like average game lengths and it was 2 games, these guys were nonstop, just fighting, microing on multiple fronts, and just that looks exhausting to me.
I'm tired watching it. That I can tell you that much for free. Like,
Yeah,
sheesh. All right, let's see if we can't get Bonnet in here for an interview.
sounds great.
Oh, I understand if you need to take a minute and just kind of, shake it out real quick. I mean, I guess these guys are probably more used to the pressure than I am, so they're probably fine. I'm over here just
Mhm.
casting it. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, pretty insane, insane.
All right, I have a feeling it'll be a moment, so we'll give him a
It's
minute
okay.
here.
I might you guys can just look at us for a second and let my voice chill for a moment.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that beautiful face right there. Oh man. All right, he's coming. So we'll get him in here. We'll do an interview. And I gotta say, the interviews have been so much fun. But here he comes. Hello, hello.
Yo, guys.
How are you doing today? Congrats, GG's.
Why, thank you. It was a very pleasant evening.
Yeah. How are you feeling? That was it was a 2-0, but man, that you had to work for that.
Yeah, definitely very equal games. One mistake here or there for either of us, and the game is done. But no, we just kept skirmishing, battling it out, and it just worked in my favor today, and I'm happy.
Hey. Oh,
Yeah,
so
I was curious. Whenever you have these like multiple fights breaking out on a like different fronts, right? Like you're in his main or you're in his natural, he's in your natural, that kind of thing. How do you make the decision of like which one gets more attention, right? Like, the last game there on Knockout, he had a bunch of goons in your natural as you were pushing through his natural at the same time. So I'm just kind of wondering like how you allocate your, attention to the different fights.
So in the last game, it was simple. Like if I don't deal damage, it's 95% GG for me. So I just one thing I can do is just put my guns. Like he has more guns than me in my natural, so I need to put my guns on the ramp. There is no that was just simple. There is no a second way of doing it. So it was not about whatever takes more priority. It's like even if my attention is in my natural, well, I cannot really do anything there because my river fell, so
Yeah.
I couldn't micro anything there. So yeah, full attention towards aggression, and yeah, it somehow worked.
yeah, it
All
seemed
right,
to work
makes
out
sense.
great. Now I have another question. In your best of one versus Eon Zerg, did you know it was gonna be dropped? Were you looking at it, or you were just like, "Wait, what the heck?" And then a bunch of overlords showed up, and you were like, "Oh, let's take care of that real quick."
Yeah, that was many overlords flying towards me, but seeing, feeling is different than seeing and knowing. So I didn't know that by that time. What can I say? I just once I saw gas in his natural, I knew that okay, this may be a lurker lurkers or some other layer garbage. So yeah, just based on what I saw from Corsair, even as Eonzer could have been more tricky. Like if I could give him a hint, he may go again. Like maybe he's gonna play against Devault, do the same, but fly with empty overlords to the main, and then
Yeah.
yeah, that's one funny way of doing it. So yeah, I sent one worker in front of the natural to see the amount of units he has there before I make the decision to go with all my zealots to my main.
Yeah, it was a fun game, and then obviously, you know, crushing your way through DeWalt. Were you expecting it? Like, obviously, I assume most players come in, especially of your caliber, come in expecting to win. Did you expect it to be a 2-0?
It could go either way, but well, given that like last week, like I literally played only today, maybe a game or two yesterday, so it felt like 25 to 75 on me. But hey, it's PvP, anything can happen.
That's the right mentality. Anything can happen in PvP.
Yeah, always play to your best. Like play for the win and not take the mentality that you're just waiting for your death. Give it your all with the mindset. Do like everything you can do to win. Of course, you need to take into account who you are playing against. So you need to maybe to skip a corner or two. So yeah, that's, I don't know. No one was asking for advice, but I gave it anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
That's good.
We'll take it. We'll absolutely take it. Is there anyone that you don't want to see in the round of 8, or anyone you're looking forward to meeting in the round of 8 bracket? Out of like, obviously we have Zero and Kami who've made it through, but out of anyone else who might.
Let's see. I don't want to see any strong players.
You're like, I just beat DeWalt. The rest is in the bag. Brushes his shoulder.
Nah, there are plenty of strong players in the scene. Like foreign scene is more equal than you would think. Like you'd think that it's just me and Devold, but in reality, there are games that are just gonna be difficult one way or another. Eonzerk one way or another. Striker another way, right? So there is JD Conan who's gonna utilize his SA strengths. Siki, of course, who's been.
It wouldn't be a cast without a Polish player complaining about lag.
What did you have in mind?
A Polish player complaining about lag? Wow. I haven't heard that one yet.
Where did I complain about lag?
All right, so what other South American things is he going to utilize for his victory?
Well, he's excellent lurker control, for example.
That's fair.
No, in all seriousness, Jaden Conan, like he's young, so he has still, I think, room to improve. I don't remember how young he is, but I remember he's pretty young. So there is that potential to vastly improve his.
He's 26. He was born in 99. I'm older than JD. What? Huh. I'm sorry.
The other thing that makes JD Conan kind of scary is he has a lot of self-belief right now, and players like that are actually pretty scary because you know they're going to perform well if they like really, really believe themselves. And JD Conan has been taking games off DeWalt and stuff recently, so I actually think he's a really good name to bring up because he is kind of up and coming into that kind of top tier, top echelon of foreign players right now.
Yeah,
and he'll get even better probably if he keeps at it. Well, there is of course Siki, who is super active, so definitely one of the scarier players out there. Tarson, definitely strong. Macro Terran, you never want to look down on him. Who else is there? And there is a bunch of people who just may take you off guard, or maybe you're just gonna have a
Dragon or Artosis. Well, you play Protoss. Right. You're safe against Artosis. That's easy.
That's Terran propaganda.
It is.
I mean, yes, but everything is Terran propaganda. Let's be honest here.
We're spreading Protoss propaganda nowadays with that Protoss is the weakest sort of thing. We're doing our stuff.
I wanted to bring up, it's not so much a question so much as a complaint almost that I want to bring up about you, Bana. So in the beginning of your series against DeWalt, I specifically said that I've never seen you make a single DT in any of your games ever. Okay, and then if you make one single DT in that game just to prove me wrong, and I was just
And it
wondering,
worked so
why would
well.
you do that to me? It did actually.
Random DTs are actually pretty effective, not just because they're invisible and they hit for a lot of damage, but your opponent needs to start playing around them. I need an observer here, I need an observer there. So even it doesn't matter if my DT is actually trying to do that damage. The damage has already been dealt just because I have Templar Archives attack and he needs to be prepared.
It's actually really smart. I never thought of it that way, but yeah, I was even talking about how allocating like your focus and thoughts on different things is a resource as well. So DT actually covers that pretty well.
Yeah.
So nice little free bit of information from Bonnet there, guys.
I have a quick follow-up on that. Do you think that DT is just a good way to, if you're trying to transition into Templar attack, that a DT is like a safe bet of helping you get there because it kind of pulls them away? They have to think about bringing observers everywhere, or did you just do it because, oh, it'll work?
I mean, the scariest part is teching to that, like wasting minerals on Citadel of Adun, Templar Archives. So if you don't die during that period of time, you should be fine. It's not just about that DT. It's just both players are making as many guns as possible with as many rivers as possible. So if you skip a couple of guns out of the sudden, your army is that much smaller. So well, you just need. I mean, again, in later mid-game compositions, you just need arcs are more important than the army, the size of the army. So yeah, you can play based on that.
Interesting. Well, I don't have any other questions. Ozzy, do you got anything?
That'll do it for me.
All right. Well, congrats, Bonnet. GG's. Well played today. Enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you. And you guys enjoy the rest of the group.
Will do. You have a great one.
Yeah, GG's. Well played. Congrats.
All right.
All right.
We're going to take a quick break, guys. That was Bonnet. Incredible interview. Very well played to make it out first of this group. Honestly, making it out first of this group is an accomplishment in and of itself.
Yeah. I mean, he took down 2 beasts to get there, so.
Now the real question is who's going to make it out second, and we will find out after a quick break. Don't go anywhere. friends, we are back. That is more StarCraft.
I'm pumped, excited.
All right,
We had a
unfortunately,
rematch from yesterday.
true. Unfortunately, they did veto Tempest, so we don't actually get to talk about it. And one of these days, it will just be. I mean, we're gonna get a best of 7 here once we hit the round of 4, and those I expect to go a long way. So I'm sure we'll get it someday. Dang it.
At some point, we were that close to getting it.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of different moves, and we definitely get it because there was definitely a couple of times where DeWalt could have done something and it just didn't.
Mhm.
And not because, like, he didn't want to. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know he wanted it. For sure he wanted it.
I mean, name a player who doesn't want to win, you know? But, so, if Wolfix wins, he gets the rematch.
Yeah, with DeWalt. But this is already a rematch from yesterday, guys. We have Wolfix versus Eonzerg going to be on Dominator for this first game. And let's see what our boy can pull out today. So spawning here on the right side, we have our Terran player Wolfix. And his opponent here on the bottom left spawn, we have Eonzerg. So these guys played yesterday.
Yes, tell us
best of
about
one.
it. Give us all the details, because you were casting BSL yesterday, right?
Yeah, I was. So Wolfix went for center 8 racks, which I was blown away that he went for it because Eonzerg is like really aggressive, right? And
Yeah.
when it comes to really aggressive players, you have to be like they're such wild cards that it's, to me, it's so dangerous to try stuff like that, right?
Now,
But
is
we're
it
actually sitting in
just
this
crazy,
house,
or is it just crazy enough to work? And obviously, we know the answer is no. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So we're gonna get a forward 8 racks this time, but this is less psychotic than a center 8 racks, so you can transition into staying alive. So yesterday he went center 8 racks and he played against 9 pool.
This is a little psychotic still because he's putting his barracks at the top. Most modern walls have it at the bottom on this map.
Yeah, it should be the same either way, I think. I don't know if that top is actually open for Lings or not. I want to say it's not, but I'm not 100% confident actually to give that information out. So if it is, he can reposition it.
Yeah.
The thing with putting it on the bottom in this case is it does actually add several seconds to the travel time of the Marine because it has to go around the barracks, right?
True. Yeah.
So a lot of times when you see forward 8 racks, it's kind of like away from where the wall is going to be just to get maximum movement from your Marines.
Yeah. And I mean, the Overlord, of course, coming right in here.
Yeah, unfortunately for Wolfix, it is going to be an instant scout here from Eonzerg, so he's going to see that 8 racks so he can prepare properly.
We will see the Overlord, though, and now we know which way to go, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it is still a 12 hatch, so there's still going to be a window to get some damage done regardless of whether or not Eon knows it's coming. We're just not going to have that little bit of surprise factor. And the other thing, too, is sometimes with 8 racks, I think it was actually, because this pool is a little bit later.
This is a 12-12. Interesting. So, I remember sitting in voice chat with Hawk once, and he was saying that one of the best things you can do in a scenario like this is not worry about the bunker going down, but just trapping the Marines and zoning them out.
Yeah.
And as long as you can keep the Marines back, because if the bunker goes up but you kill all the Marines, then you've won twice because now they've built a bunker that has no value.
The first Marine goes down pretty easily for 1 drone there. A little bit of a drill does disrupt the Marine movement just a little bit. Going to buy himself a fair amount of time. Pretty good drone control so far. Second drone is going to get away with his life as well, but another drone does go down. Nice drilling, though, from Eonzerg in the Chaos here. Great pulling as well. Man, this could have been so much worse for Eon. It's crazy, but he's only lost 2 drones so far with multiple drones getting away with no HP. So great micro and opening here from Eon. That was pretty sick.
That was... I don't know if we're allowed to broadcast that on Twitch is what that was. Let's go with that. Like, that was so beautiful.
The drone had 3 kills, by the way. Like... That's pretty insane. One of those drones has right
it's this guy right there. Look at this.
Yeah, what a hero.
Wolfix fans in shambles. me and Ozzy included.
Yeah, the Vulture does get out in time, so it's at least going to put a time on these links, so it shouldn't really take any additional damage. So that's going to be nice for Wolfix that he gets to clear these up. He's actually going to go straight across the map and just defend with the reinforcing Vulture here. He wants to try and get there before this Sunken gets up and put additional pressure on Eon. And Eon's delaying the Sunken, actually,
He put
for a
drone
while.
out here. I don't know if that's just a bad rally or...
Yeah, I think that is just a bad rally. And this Vulture... Oh my god, is it going to get in?
Oh,
it
does.
Wait, this... If we don't make a mistake, and we are making a mistake already, this could have been game-ending damage, but I'm afraid that we took a little too much on this Vulture, and we're actually getting stuck on the wall a little bit, kind of messing our flick micro here some.
The thing is, we're still on
still
hatchery
insane
tag.
damage. Yeah. And there's a starport that's almost done behind us. That's one shot away. Okay, we're getting some decent shots now for Wolfix. And even just the amount of mining time that we've disrupted here is big. Now, it could have just been game-ending, I feel like, with slightly better control. But this Wraith is going to be out before that Hydrogen is finished, so...
Do you go for workers or do you go for overlords first?
You're looking for overlords.
I'm
if you can't find any overlords... Yeah. If you can't find any overlords, you'll kill a drone or two, but overlords are preferable. Although he might come in here and try to find weakened ones from that he shot earlier. Actually, that's potentially what we're doing here, and I think that's what we found here. Well, tried to build a building, but doesn't quite get it. And I guess we just don't really have any injured drones at this point. I mean, there's one that's missing just a few HP that they've regenerated well enough. So, yeah, he didn't find any overlords right now, so he's just going to go for drones and try to make them make buildings at least. Hydra's going to get out and start shooing this Wraith away. And, you know, we didn't find any overlords. He should be aware of the possibility actually coming back for the drone. That's pretty nice from Wolfix. But he should be aware of this overlord that's on the right side. It's probably something he'll go for later. And he doesn't need to make additional Wraith because he sees, you know, the lack of lair and stuff, right? So that's actually kind of reassuring for Wolfix as well here. Gonna get a few shots on this overlord, but can't go for it because of this Hydra nearby, and we are a little bit softened up from earlier. Gonna catch this one on the outside, though, but I think it's still gonna be fine. Yeah. And I've talked about this before, and small numbers Vultures actually do surprisingly well against Hydras. A lot of people don't realize how good Vultures are against Hydra.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that, because Vultures do concussive damage, right? They're not good against really anything, except like Zealots and Lings. But, you know, it's just they attack fast enough, and they do enough damage that in the small number scale, they do beat Hydras. Especially if you get speed or you just send it on into the main.
Yeah, it looks like we went for a bit of a run by here, and I think Eon actually killed like a lot of the Vultures. The mines get all the larvae, which is something. And we went for a bit of a drop, but this dropship gonna get picked off by Eon Zerg, so that is a dead dropship. It was empty at least, so there's that going for him, but all the Vultures have died. We're gonna lay down some kind of desperate mines here, but I think the Hydras are in high enough numbers that he's going to be fine here.
Yeah,
did get a bunker up, but there's only one Marine in it. We have a tank on the low ground at the moment. And that one Marine, okay, a second Marine does pop out, but these Hydras are going to start trying to focus on the bunker. We do get that repair down, and it looks like that repair is barely going to hold on, actually.
Oh, we're back in the yellow.
God. And now we're going to focus down a few SCVs. Nice loading there, actually, from Wolfix to try and kind of minimize the losses here overall, but I still like Eon's position. I think our work account's a little bit light. His drone count is surprisingly good considering the chaos here. What's the natural look like? Okay, we did make a few more drones. Yeah. There's a few more drones hatching, but this is going to be a one-base push, I believe, from Wolfix, although, as I say, that an SCV is coming down, so he might be starting that command center now. Gonna fly in here and he sees more drones hatching, so let's see.
I think you just gotta target down every overlord because there's no Hydras.
Yeah, gonna go for drones, force some buildings again. But this is pretty nice from Eon Zerg, you know, just cycling out these injured ones to get those buildings down. And yeah, only loses one more drone, so nice. Like I said, nice cycling there from Eon making these buildings And honestly, he might just let the Evo Chamber finish. I think it is about that time.
He needs to click on
Wolfix
this.
is going to get the scout on the Spire, though, so that's good for him there.
I don't think he looked at it, though, is the problem. Like, his camera never flicked back there.
Yeah, he might not have been.
Yeah, there's a world where he just totally missed that.
Yeah, that's true. It's actually very possible that he just didn't notice. But we do have that eBay on the way here. Additional barracks coming down. I assume we have the Academy, right? Surely we made the Academy before additional barracks. Maybe not.
Oh.
Okay, so no Academy coming down. So...
Stim is overrated is the correct answer.
Maybe he just wants the additional Marines before he starts the Academy. But yeah, I would have thought that Academy would come down first. But you know, I don't do a lot of this technical build, so it's possible I'm just not fully understanding the progression here.
You don't understand the genius that is Wolfix.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't worry. Next or sometime this week when he dropped his video about how he beat the round of 16 in IPSL, we'll watch that and then we can truly understand his genius.
Yeah. All right, so we started +1 for the bio, right? I believe I saw the eBay blinking. Or am I crazy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
so
you're
we got
crazy,
+1
but
for
not
bio
on
the
this
way
one.
before the Academy. So, you know, his genius is just outside of my understanding. But we got a decent vessel count of the way, so he did come back in with the race. So if he didn't spot it before, he at least knows that there's a Spire now. This needs to not be allowed to happen. I imagine we're sending Marines back, or the vessel could have only just recently started, so if that's the case, then it's going to be safe, but we don't lose this vessel, so nice pull there from Wolfix. Probably a little bit of PTSD from the 42 vessels that he lost playing against Crossy the other day.
Yeah. He had some rough luck with his vessels in recent times.
But Eon Zerg doing a nice job of kind of getting macroed back up behind this, is just kind of pumping tons and tons of drones. But there is going to be a pretty scary push coming his way relatively soon. Again, though, these are going to be stemless, rangeless, without medics.
I think without medic is like stim and range are so critical that it's like, of course, you know, without that's bad. But then you think it's like without medics is, I feel like something that's so much crazier.
Yeah, so it's like I want to say this is a mistake, but you know, yesterday when I was casting him, he went for Armory way before what he told me the timing of the Armory is supposed to be when you're going Valkyrie. And I pointed that out on stream, and then he messaged me this morning. He was like, hey, I did it on purpose for the faster +1. So I'm just not allowed to ever criticize anything Wolfix says, or he's going to tell me why I'm wrong.
Good job, Wolfix. Give it up.
But yeah, jokes aside, again, I want to say it's a mistake, but there could be reasoning behind it, so we'll hold off on that one.
I'm going to go, we're going to finish up. I'm going to go eat dinner. I'm going to come back to my computer. It's going to be a DM, and it's you, me, and Wolfix in an essay of like, this is what I did and why. I'm like, huh, cool.
So we have the Defiler round on the way. The one thing Wolfix does that's kind of going for him right now is he has vessels building up a lot of energy. So there's going to be a bit of a push timing we're going to go for, where I think if we're pushing like in the next like 10, 15, 20 seconds, we should be getting there before Consume is done, right? But if we go much later than that, he might be caught off guard by the speed of this Defiler round after, you know, the craziness of the early game.
How long does Consume take to research? Isn't it like 35, 40 seconds?
It's pretty quick. I don't know the exact time, but I do know it's pretty quick. All right, so let's see if Wolfix does a better job babysitting his vessels this time than he did against Crossy. Make sure that they stay near those Marines because we cannot afford to lose any of them. These vessels are extremely crucial to this push right now.
Yeah, I mean, this one's got full energy, 126.89. That's a lot of irradiates to have.
Yeah. But, you know, Eon's doing a pretty good job of kind of making Wolfix wary, and every second is, like, precious for Eon Zerg. Does have a fourth vessel come out, does Wolfix. Does pick off one tank as well, which is pretty nice for Eon.
All right, we got Stim
we
finally.
We got Stim. We don't have range quite yet on these Marines. Going to run forward and try to take down some of these Hydras, so pretty nice pick off there for Wolfix. I'm just a little bit worried because the supply of Eon Zerg looks great. We did scan ahead and see these. believe we did.
Yes, he did.
Well,
Well, no. Marine, stop shooting at our own units. It's the second betrayal today. Oh.
yeah, and here comes the Dark Swarm is ready. Lurker's going to jump forward, and this is the worst thing that you can see as a Terran player in this position where you're pushing with all these tanks. Still going to get a bunch of radiates down and get some pretty decent damage onto a lot of these Lurkers, but we can't really push into this. You can do something like target kind of the backside Lurkers and kill the ones in front of them with Splash. So that's a little bit of an option.
Yeah,
depending on how they're stacked inside this one.
It's one of those weird things, right? Where it's like one lurker under Dark Swarm will never die. Two lurkers under Dark Swarm will, though.
Yeah. Alright, well, that's pretty much all we got for Radiate Energy, I believe. A lot of additional lurkers were built. We did get this kind of flank set up here from Eon Zerg. And it looks like Wolfix a little bit slow to respond to this. I think he was back home macroing a bit, so going to take quite a few losses. A bunch of the tanks going to go down. They're going to siege up. And, you know, the... Oh, nice target actually on the Defiler.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very nice.
Thing is, we're up to 4 bases. Well, 4 gases mining, right?
Crazy. The fact that, if you consider everything that happened this game, the fact that Eon Zerg is on his 4 gas right now is actually kind of wild to me. Gonna push forward with a bunch of this army here. This is pretty small ragtag leftover force here from Wolfix, so Eons are gonna clean it up pretty efficiently. Does at least have all of his vessels alive so far, so continue to bank energy in that sense.
Yeah, I think he's only lost
pushing
one.
out with a bunch. Oh, you're right. He did lose one. Yeah, he did lose one.
Which is still impressive, mind. Like, losing only one at this point is still rather impressive. Like, he's falling in and out of Scourge a lot. A lot of Hydras on the field. It's very easy to lose them at this point. And, you know, Wolfix may or may not have a history of also losing them.
Yeah. But this army from Eon Zerg is starting to look pretty scary at this point. He's got a nice supply, staying like even and slightly ahead even in supply with the Terran player, which is always fantastic for Zerg. Second starport is on the way for Wolfix, continuing those upgrades. I think this one eBay probably working overtime. And we actually want to continue tank production too, because it is going to be this Hydra Lurker Defiler style.
Yeah, tanks are really good here.
Yeah. It's getting a little bit scary, the positioning of this army. It's getting pretty close to our natural, which is not what you want to be seeing, although there's no Defiler here with this. I thought I saw one with it, but I guess not. So it's pretty much a pure Hydra force pushing in here, so maybe not so scary after all.
Yeah, one of the biggest issues is that Hydras are not really good against stimmed Marines. Like, at all. So when that's all it is, it's not much.
Yeah, it's actually pretty insane. Oh, Wolfig's not looking. One vessel going to go down. Second vessel going to go down. Third one going to go down to about half HP. But yeah, you're right. It's actually surprising how good Bio is against a lot of things. Like Marine Medic beats like Goon, Zealot, Hydra. Like it actually wins against like any other basic units.
Yeah.
It's just the extra tech stuff that really screws them over.
Anything with Splash will survive Bio very well.
Alright, few Dark Swarms go down here at the third base attempt here for Wolfix. Vessel going to fly into these Lurker or Hydras and go down immediately. And it looks like this base is going to get denied, so great push here from Eon Zerg. Going to push Wolfix back onto 2 base. And Wolfix going to start running out of steam here just a little bit. I think our main is actually mined out our natural, getting very, very low as well.
Yes.
Maybe not very low, but
nothing.
It's starting to get low.
This is not looking great either. I mean, we're at 18 minutes. If you don't have a third base at this point, you're in just a bad spot.
Yeah, and that was actually a kill on the commencer, not even a cancel. When we're hurting this much for money, you can't really afford things like that. Does catch this Defiler at least on the bottom side, but...
Ooh. Come on, boys.
Eon's economy looking very, very strong right now, and I think he's just going to keep leaning on Wolfix. This is kind of like... I mean, you get into these stages a lot of games against Terran, whether you're Protoss or Zerg, where it's like your economy is great, your tech is where you want it to be, and you kind of just keep leaning on them and trading into them, keeping them from growing properly.
Because there's no other way to beat them.
Oof, huge spawns.
That was beautiful. As a Zerg player, that was beautiful. As someone who's rooting for Wolfix, that was painful.
Yeah, Swarm's going to go down to the natural. Lurker's going to move forward into these swarms, and I think we're getting close to that GG moment. Anytime you see swarms coming down on the natural, it is always a bit of a nightmare for Terran to deal with. Does at least clean up a bit of the Lurkers here. Got a couple actually on the outside going to go down. Trying to get that third base up on the other side. But we kind of saw this yesterday with Eon when he's playing against a tournament. It's like once he starts going, it just never stops. Like it just feels like he keeps ramming into you over and over and over again, right?
Yeah, he has that stamina for just continuous attacking.
Mm-hmm. Yep, gonna break through here. One more vessel gonna go down. Last of the tank's gonna go down. A lot of lurkers burrowing here, and GG gonna be called. Eon gonna take this first game here on Dominator.
GG's. Man, I don't know. I feel like there was plenty of potential for Wolfix, and it just never materialized.
This is the same thing he had with his games yesterday, where it's like he does these builds and he executes them really well in the early game, and it feels like everything's going right for him, but it just doesn't seem to quite come together in the end.
Yeah. Well,
I say that Eon's defense of that Arax was absolutely beautiful, though.
Yeah, that was nuts. It was a very clean up. He lost 2 drones, which is you need to kill 3 to have any sort of like this was worth it moment. Like 2 is like that perfect line of all right, it's kind of even.
Yeah, I do think that Wolfix honestly should have won the game when that Vulture got inside, but we took like 50 damage without firing once to those drones.
Yeah, that was kind of nuts.
Yeah, it's kind of a big missed opportunity, I feel like, for Wolfix. And I know he knows that he's probably kicking himself over that one.
Well, game number 2 is going to be on Fighting Spirit. So, I mean, if there's ever a map that Wolfix can win, it's going to be the most Terran-favored map, of course.
Fighting Spirit. I've been vetoing that map for about 4 years now, so... I still have to play it every now and then because the Chinese group that I'm in really likes to play Fighting Spirit 2v2s and when they do their 1v1. And I complain about it every single time.
It's just got some staying power. For some reason, it's just such a well-used map still.
It's a classic, man. People love it for whatever reason.
Well, let's see how it goes.
All right, spawning here in the top left corner, we have Eon Zerg, currently up 1-0 over his counterpart, which is spawning here in the bottom left corner, our Terran player, Wolfix. All right. What shenanigans is Wolfix going to get up to this time? That's always the question.
Oh, well, looks like Eon Zerg has the shenanigan of pulling the cable in and out of the back of his computer. Or, as you might say back in the UMS days, your Fisher-Price modem.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I remember I missed the dial-up days, man. When it was like, I'd be in a game and it'd start lagging, I'd be like, put down the phone, I'm in a game.
Yeah. Stop downloading stuff, you know. Man, early Brood War. Well, I would say early as in like the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun time, man. Oh, you're playing a UMS game and it's just like, all right, it's lagging way too much, but no one's disconnecting, so you drop a save hoping that it fixes it. And like half the time it does because netcode.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I completely forgot that was a solution that people
Blizzard spaghetti code somehow saving it reset everyone's connection. I don't. Man, there are so many miscellaneous things that I understand about, which is great that I went into computer networking because there's so many miscellaneous things that BNet taught me back in the day of like, why does this work like this? Oh, well, I guess I know this now. That and like port forwarding for every other game and such like that. What the heck?
We are doing BSB, an in-base BSB. Is that's what it looks like?
That's what it looks like. All right, so what are your thoughts on the BSB? Because it's definitely like the hot. It feels like the hot new thing.
So I like it, but doing it this way makes no sense to me. Because it only works if it doesn't get scouted. Because if they just make a sunken, it's over. Like it's a dead push.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's not gonna get scouted.
It doesn't get scouted.
And because
like my Zerg heart's bleeding.
wow, okay, interesting. Now the drone didn't go back home, so Eon's actually being pretty intelligent about the potential scouting pattern here, so he might be able to catch the Marine move out early enough.
Oh.
Although I say that and he's coming back home, he may have just been checking to see if it was going to be like a normal expand build and then going to go back home. So here come the Marines across the map now, and they're going to be coming out 2x2. BSV, it's one of those things where it's just like an offbeat timing where you're hitting before the sunken, but he's pulling SCVs. Okay, so he's going to pull a bunch of SCVs. We are full on all in here with this, boys. Going to try and get some initial damage onto the sunken, but it seems like Eon Zerg might be prepared enough. We have 6 Lings out right now. The sunken is almost done. I actually think this is just a defense from Eon Zerg. He like really sniffed this one out.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and try and get the bunker up, but target firing with the sunken against the Marines instead of worrying about the SCVs. Oh, the bunker is never gonna finish. It's so close, but it's never gonna get there, I don't think.
Yeah, and even if it does at this point, I mean, there's too many Lings with the sunken here and only 2 Marines left over, so.
Alright.
Yeah, the sunken, or the bunker finishes up, but I don't think this bunker is going to be able to hold on. It's going to go down. Things are going to clean this up, and this is going to be a quick 2-0 for Eon. I can't believe Eon sniffed that out. I must have missed something because that's crazy.
that was just a little crazy. Just a little bit.
Yeah, I need to go back and see what kind of gave that away, because I feel like, yeah, like I said, I just must have missed something that he sniffed out. Or I mean, maybe it was initially that he just thought the vulture was coming. He was maybe preparing for a super fast vulture or something like that, and then the Marines started showing up. So yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if it was just like one Marine being there on the ramp was like, weird timing. Like he might have assumed like an 8 Rex.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he did see the early Marine kind of.
That's like the only thought I can think of.
The other thing is that drone that was retreating, I didn't see. The lingering vision might have caught the Marines at some point.
Possible.
But I would need to go back and see how close it was. But yeah, whatever the reason is, Eon defends that beautifully. Like I said, you get that sunken up, it completely shuts down BSB. So that is just straight up the counter as you build a sunken. And
yeah. Moral of the story, always build sunkens.
Yeah, so Eon gonna shut that down, gonna win this series 2-0, and moves on to face DeWalt in the decider match.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a reward or if that's more of a punishment, but guess we're gonna find out. Right. Players are doing vetoes right now, so with just a minute, we're gonna get their vetoes out of the way, and then the decider. Who would have thought DeWalt in the decider match? I know Boneth was all like, "Oh, it's pretty even at this level. It feels like," but like, let's be honest here. We kind of didn't expect DeWalt in the deciders match.
Well, kind of, yeah. DeWalt and Bonnet, they're so evenly matched. They go so back and forth.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been super surprised either way at the end of the day, but yeah, I mean, which sounds better, right? You would have faced DeWalt or Bonnet in the decider match. Like both, it's brutal. It's pretty tough. But Eon Zerg is no slouch himself, man. He is a very, very strong opponent. So it's not, even though Bonnet did, or sorry, even though Bonnet shut down this push, this kind of drop shenanigans that Eon went for, it doesn't mean that Eon by any means is super outmatched. I think he can absolutely take games off DeWalt.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, looks like we got our map order here. So once our players are ready, we'll get going into the last series of the day. best of 3, DeWalt versus Eon Zerg, guys. And, you know, there's only one thing you can do to make this even more hype. And you want to know what that is? You could consider supporting us, guys. Every little bit, genuinely every little bit, comes down to helping pay the players, pay the casters, continue IPSL, is continuing on. And, of course, a $2,500 offline tournament at the end of the season. Like, it's going to be amazing. And you guys all get to be a part of this history of StarCraft that we get to put on here. And we get to build together by supporting through the Patreon or through the Ko-Fi. All of it helps, and it all goes right into more StarCraft, guys. So if if you're enjoying what you're seeing, if you're enjoying it, you can also consider dropping a sub on Twitch or whatever. All of that goes into making more StarCraft and making it better for you guys to watch. So that is a great way you can help make this even better.
Yeah. I can't get enough of it personally. My life has like been revolving around StarCraft lately, so the more you guys can keep going for us, like Aaron, I really appreciate you getting this going and the BSL and stuff going on. So
Yeah.
it gives me more StarCraft to consume and participate in and be a part of. So whether I'm doing it as a player or a caster, and
it's not like you're not doing incredible things yourself. That not random tournament, but the anonymous tournament. There's the word I'm looking for. That was sick.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with how that went. The Coliseum in general, I'm actually pretty stoked about. We had a couple pretty cool tournaments. The anonymous tournament also obviously was a kind of a unique idea that I try to push forward. Not like super original per se, but at least in the StarCraft scene, it kind of was. And
Yeah.
I
And I think
really
it worked
enjoyed doing
really
it. It was
well.
exhausting, but it came out pretty good. And I'm looking forward to doing it again with proper production. I am terrible with production. Like, I love your graphics and stuff. I like love your color scheming and everything too. And I'm a little bit jealous of it sometimes. But Goose has given me some stuff. He's been a little bit busy, so he hasn't been able to, keep helping me out right now. But he's done some pretty amazing graphics for me so far, and I'm looking forward to kind of increasing a lot of that production. But
Yeah.
it's enough about me. We can talk about my stuff sometime. Right now, we have a sick series coming up with Eon Zerg and DeWalt. Looking forward to kind of seeing how these games go. I think Eon's one of those guys, man, where it's just when I see him, he's upper echelon. Like he's super good, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't have words. I'm honestly just really excited to see how this goes because, in my opinion, there is a world where DeWalt is out in the round of 16, and to me, I don't really have I don't know what to do with that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually not impossible, like unironically.
Yeah.
But all right, spawning here in the right side spawn, we have DeWalt this time playing Magenta himself. Maybe thinking that's where Bonnet was getting his power from. And spawning here in the bottom spawn, we have our Zerg player, Eon Zerg. Hype.
Man, this is gonna be a match. I can see this going 3 games pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. It absolutely could. Absolutely, it could. I expect we'll see, overpull from Eon. Just keep things nice and standard for him. But DeWalt, I think, I was gonna say he kind of favors Forge Expand, which might still be true, but he really does like Gateway Expand as well. I think I've been seeing him do Gate Expand more often recently. And
I feel like Gate
scout,
Expand is
like
great.
We're gonna get.
Sorry. I think Gate Expand is great. The problem is against someone like Eon Zerg, I'm not entirely convinced of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like we've been talking about, Eon Zerg is such an aggressive player. Here we go, Overpool. Like, if you go Gate first, you're just going to have to sit back anyways.
Oh, that's going to be Forge. So it's going to be... Okay, it's an interesting way of doing it, I guess, because it's a 3-player map. So we did Pylon No Scout, which usually is what you do for Gate Expand, but because it's a 3-player map, he did Forge and then Double Expand, but he saw the Overlord, so he brought 1 probe back. So this is going to be pretty optimized mining for a Forge Expand.
Yeah.
I actually really like that. That's pretty cool.
It's the little optimizations that help him be so good at this game.
Yep. Yeah, very cool. It's very cool to see things like that from a lot of these players, especially for me, because
Oh.
my early game is atrocious. So like when I see these early game optimizations and like little adjustments that they make and stuff, I always find it to be like really cool.
Oh yeah, and there's so many of them. Like I feel like you learn one and you're like, wow, okay, I think I'm finally understanding something, and then you realize that you learned like the first step of 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when I learned how to mineral boost, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I learned how to mineral boost, and then it's like, okay, do you know what patches to do it on? Do you know what order to mine the patches to optimize your boosting? I'm like, wait, what? Huh?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because we've all been playing this game pretty much for decades at this point, most of us.
Too many years. Well,
Yeah, and I was
I'm still
I was
dead.
casting with Jiraiya yesterday, and I said something about mineral boost, and he was like, "Oh, I just learned about that like yesterday." And I was like, "Brother, you play this game like all day, every day." So and there's still like so many like little niche things that even I'm learning like every single day. I feel like I'm learning something like, "Oh, I didn't know about that," or "Oh, that's kind of crazy," or I feel like I'm saying this
Absolutely.
at least once a week.
There's so many things to learn, and there's so many things that I feel like just aren't fully understood yet. And
Hmm.
this is always one of my favorite things. It's probably the least relevant thing in terms of like actually useful, but it's one of my favorites. Is like that fire bats can technically hit 3 times per attack.
Yeah, how does that
So
one work?
there's a big TL thread about it from like 5 years ago. And it's because the fire bat, like like if you have the fire bat here, damage is calculated like here, here, and here. And so there is technically a world where it can hit an Ultralisk 3 times per attack.
Okay.
Or it can hit 3 different lings at once. Like there is these little technicalities. It's not relevant. It's not practical in a 1v1 scenario, but
Yeah, it's like not something you do on purpose, but
yeah, but it's one of those like, okay, I mix in my fire bats, and I understand that like there's a chance that they're gonna do this if I do this thing, right?
yeah.
Or the lurkers, right? When they die, they do double damage,
Right, that one, yeah.
and it's things like that. And it's like that only became understood what in the last year or two.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
feel like is
recent.
when people finally understood like this is what's happening.
Sneaky little zealot here from DeWalt, by the way, that went undetected.
Yeah.
And Eon's not gonna have lings being made for this, so this is actually really annoying for him to deal with. He's gonna have 2 lings out, but it's gonna disrupt the money. Even gets a drone, actually. That's pretty painful.
No.
Yeah, that had to have been a really strong stutter step from DeWalt. Dude, high-level Protoss players with their zealot stutter, sometimes they're like chasing your Marines, and I swear I'm getting no distance while they're hitting my Marines. Like, it feels so awful when a high-level Protoss gets on them.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like, lings can never hit transferring workers, right? If you're like,
Right.
okay, lings, try and get these transferring probe recipes, they just won't. They're way too bad at it. A zealot can chase something down, and I'm like, why? Why is the zealot so good? Why can't my lings munch away at these things?
Mm-hmm. All right, back to talking about completely impractical things. I'm actually working on a video where I'm gonna talk about. Somebody asked me to make a video on it, but it's 2 tricks that I encourage people never to practice.
Ooh.
So one of them is vulture hopping over pylons, which I can do relatively consistently, but it's such a waste of effort with almost never any gain whatsoever, but it makes me feel cool every time I do it. Okay. The other one is even less practical, which is irradiating lurkers through overlords. And I'm doing a video explaining how I do it.
Practical?
So
I feel like Taryn is salivating at that thought.
Yeah. So the reason it's impractical is because it's pixel perfect, and it can be extremely time consuming trying to get the right click. But again, it's one of those things. I played Kava a couple days ago, and I did it 4 times in a row.
And Kava probably broke his keyboard.
Yeah, well, he didn't understand. Like, he told me, he was like, I didn't realize all my lurkers. Like, because I ended up breaking the base, and he was like, not looking, and he was like, I didn't realize all my lurkers died. And I was like, yeah, because your overlord was still there, but all the lurkers died under the overlord. It can catch people off guard, but the amount of time that I spent practicing it. Oh my god, that should have connected.
What? Scourge, please.
Yeah, Scourge are the worst, man. Yeah, a little bit of a missed opportunity for Eon. Anyway, enough talking about random shenanigans because the game is heating up just a little bit. But
I do have
man,
one
I
thing to
can't
say
believe
on
Wall
that.
gets to keep that one. Okay, go ahead.
Optimizations like that, you know, you might say today that it's impractical. It's so hard to do. It's so impractical. In 3, 4, 5 years time, that might be the standard. And
That's
Zergs
true.
have to figure something new out.
That's actually very true. There can be smarter players or, better players than me that actually get really good at it and figure out an easier way of doing it and actually find a way to make it practical. That's actually very true.
Well, I think I was talking, because I think it was yesterday with Zun, is that like a lot of what Flash did that made him the best of the best was just being really good at things that nobody quite understood yet, right?
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's like, a lot of the optimizations and like return cargo and stuff are things that's like, we kind of get that now as like a community.
Whoa!
Oh.
How we pushed out with 4 Corsair and we didn't get punished for that.
That was weird.
I think Eon just assumed that it was enough Corsair because I don't know why DeWalt just pushed out with only 4 Corsair, but Eon absolutely could have picked off a couple of those and punished him for that.
Especially because the Scourge just flew right through the Corsair clump.
Yeah. Look at all these Corsair. Do we have +1 armor? We might be getting it, though. We don't have it yet, but we might be getting it.
No.
But there is a ton of Scourge chasing down these Corsair. They're going to have to retreat all the way home. And these Mutas going to pick off a few of these Zealots, so this is actually a pretty nice pick for Eon. He does have his 4th base actually finished already.
The Zealot is so close, but so far from discovering it.
Pretty aggressive expansions, actually, from Eon Zerg so far. Alright, so Zealot gonna get up here. At least is going to now confirm that the base is up here. And that's 4 gases mining, by the way, so are we just going straight up like Ogre Zerg, or are we working towards Hydras?
There's an Evo chamber.
The Evo chamber is on the way. There's no Hydra. Okay, there is a Hydra gun. Okay.
But there's no Hydras or any sign that they're existing yet.
Oh, we're kind of doing kind of a Turtle Zerg style, but we're doing it on 4 base without a natural. This is gonna spread himself really thin doing it this way. Sneaky DT here working its way up towards the 4th, but there is an Overlord there. Sucking being made, but it's not gonna be done in time, so Eon should be paying attention though. We see him glance over, so he's gonna get the transfer, maybe lose 1 drone, so not too bad. Hopefully we don't
transferred a couple of drones in.
Oof, that was 80% of a swipe, but the drone gets to live on.
That's the luckiest drone in the world.
And our boy, well, sick of that cannon up there. Didn't like the way it looked.
And sometimes they're just ugly, you know? Nothing wrong with it.
Gonna move to take a 3rd on location pretty early, but there's really not enough anti-air. Do we have that +1 yet for the air?
Yes.
Yes, we do. And here we go. These Scourge are going to dive on top of these Corsair. Only 1 Corsair goes down so far, retreating back to these cannons, but pretty nice for DeWalt so far. Going to clean up a lot of these Scourge overall. Another Scourge fails to connect there, and he's doing a good job of kind of staying close to his cannons. And there was also a nice initial storm as well. All the Mutas go down, and that is fantastic for DeWalt.
Yeah, all the Scourge, all the Mutas just gone. The advanced lurker.
Do we have... How far are we from Observer Tech?
There's a Robo.
So there's the Robo. Oh, Observer's not even close to done, actually. But these aren't in range of the Nexus.
No.
So it's fun.
The advantage is that Observers build very quickly, at least.
He can actually storm. Okay, he finds the spot. Nice. So he actually gets the storm to clear both as well, so... No damage going to be taken from DeWalt there. Yeah, nice awareness of DeWalt of the positioning of those lurkers. Without vision. Gonna try and sneak a couple more lurkers here, but I think DeWalt's in a pretty good position to shut them down before they get too close. And Observer is out now. Man, Observers build so fast, dude.
Yeah, they really do. Like, the build time is something like 20 seconds, I think. It's unironically just so quick.
Yeah, kind of all the Robotech actually goes really quickly. The Corsair are up here, but they're not being watched, so a bunch of them gonna go down, and only one Corsair gonna remain. Nice little intercept there. So one Corsair actually gets caught up to even.
No Corsairs survive.
And now, of course, as well, you do have to worry about that reswap into Muta. Eon is on 4 gas, so it is absolutely an option for him.
Yeah, there's a world where you just hit the select all your larvae and just muta.
What's the saturation on Eon's third? Looks maybe a little bit light. Yeah, it's a little bit light, but he's kind of doing like light drone count, but his spread across 4 bases pretty early, so his economy is a lot better than it might look if you're just glancing at 1 base at a time.
Yeah, it's probably optimized in terms of like having how many drones at which base, but overall it's good enough saturation for 4 bases. You know, probably a couple drones short, but
yeah, he got up to very fast hive tech. I don't know if he made the Defiler Mound yet, or if he's just using it for like quick adrenaline or something.
Getting a
Maybe
Nidus
just for the Nidus. More
third
Evo. So we're going triple Evo. So we're just going super defensive on 4 base here. And what is this building here? Okay, it's the Nidus. Yeah. All right. Well, the game plan is to kind of chill, I think, for Eon Zerg.
Oh, grab the Observer. Nice.
Yeah, that was the only Observer here, so this push gonna be stopped here in its tracks for DeWalt. Taking the 6 o'clock base as his 4th base. That is very interesting. Very close to the Zerg there.
Yeah, that's an aggressive base. If these Scourge had any vision at all, they would see that base. Thankfully, Scourge are bad.
Poor, blind little buggers. Them Scourge. Do they have, outside of like spider mines, they have the lowest vision range, I do believe.
Yes. Well, they don't really have eyes, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, it is very lore accurate that they're terrible for vision.
Oh, another Observer has showed up. We do have some Scourge here.
Yeah,
we no longer
is
have
at a
an
pretty...
Observer. Oh,
DeWalt's at a pretty good supply. He's getting over this Hydra Den, but the Lings and Hydras are going to be able to barely clean this up before that Hydra Den does go down. And we do have an additional 3 Zealots probably going to try to come finish this. Meanwhile, we're continuing to fight out here at the front of Eon Zerg, but any trading like this right now is actually pretty good for DeWalt.
yeah, it's allowing him to get his 4th on time. Like 4th
exactly.
Up and
He's going to be 4 base versus 4 base, and I like that he's leaning on him while he's close to max here. And just kind of making him make units and trade a little bit. But if Eon Zerg does get that main base up and running, and it starts getting a little bit hard for Protoss, because if you don't break a position and they're getting up to 5 base and they got that nice Canal Tech and they're getting defilers and stuff out,
Stop.
it starts getting really hard to kill Zerg. I mean, DeWalt's trading pretty well so far. More Observers going down. But I think we've pretty much queued like 5 Observers at a time at this point, because Eon's very focused on sniping those.
Eon has done very good at sniping Observers every chance he gets.
We are starting to make some headway, though, as DeWalt getting up onto this high ground, but we do have swarms coming down now, which starts making a lot harder break, but it is 100 supply to 200 right now, so this is a very, very scary timing here for DeWalt. More Observers go down. There's still 1 left over, though.
Fortunately,
and we're breaking through the swarms. Eon's in a lot of trouble. The Defiler goes down. DeWalt still basically maxed at this point as he breaks through the swarms. The Scourge looking for that last Observer, but not going to be able to find it. These Lurkers behind these Sunkens, though, are going to eat those Zealots up. We heard a lot of them dying off. But this is still good for DeWalt. I mean, we're making Eon fight us while on very low supply.
Yeah, and there's nothing Eon can really do. We've wedged ourselves between the natural and third, right? So this is really where most of the rally points land. So as you can see, he has to continuously pull back his army as it rallies out to try and save it. We discover the fourth base, but we don't have enough to actually break it here.
He's not going to break it, and there's a Robo there, which means Reavers are going to be coming out pretty soon to start defending it. Now, this is going pretty well for DeWalt overall. He is going to be able to break this position. I think Eon's dead, but if he had held on here, it'd be a little bit scary for DeWalt because that 12 o'clock base is coming up. But yeah, nice storm killing a bunch of those drones. Going to have to evacuate this base. And DeWalt's still doubling the supply of Eon. His macro really on point while fighting pretty efficiently, considering the defensive setup from Eon.
Yeah. He did a very good job to take it as slow as he needed to make sure he got through.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be very patient with these pushes, and DeWalt kind of showcasing his mastery of that patience.
Like, there's definitely a world where he rushes it, runs into lurkers, loses too many zealots or a couple high Templars.
Absolutely.
GG is called. DeWalt takes game number 1.
Very well played from DeWalt. Like you said, if he just like A moves into that, he actually gets completely obliterated, right?
Yeah.
Like, A moving into that is a game losing play, but it was great control, great patience from DeWalt, great execution of that push, and gonna take that win. So GG. And what's it gonna be? Fighting knockouts next?
Knockout next. All right.
Good old knockout.
It really is just a good map. And the more games you watch on it, the more you like it. Like, it's the opposite of Vermeer for me. Like, the more games I watch on Vermeer, the more I hate it. The more games I watch on Knockout, the more I'm like, you know what? No, this is a great map.
I like Knockout, even though I haven't had good results on it so far. I am a fan of it. I kind of feel like it's Zerg favored in this matchup.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's definitely... It was supposed to be the anti-Zerg map that turned into one of the best Zerg maps, which might be why I like it so much, but who knows?
That's fair.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking about it yesterday about how, they try to make all these maps, like, bad for Zerg, and then Zerg wins ASL again anyway.
GG easy.
Like, good job. You guys kept Sulky out, I guess.
I think he kept himself out, to be honest. But, like... All right, here we go. Game number 2, DeWalt versus Eon Zerg. Starts right now.
Let's go. All right, spawning here in the top left corner of Knockout, we have our Protoss player, DeWalt, currently up 1-0 over his opponent here, spawning in the top right corner, Eon Zerg. What can Eon show us to bring this game back, guys? He's shown us a couple different looks today so far. We had this kind of interesting 2-base drop attempt onto Bonnet that did not quite work out, and a little bit of air-heavy style here against DeWalt in that first game on Dominator into kind of a semi-turtle style, but DeWalt showing us great patience, great execution, pushes through there and kills Eon pretty much right on time, right before Eon is as strong as he could be, with those Defiler coming out, Swarms, and Plague not quite ready in time. So will we see another well-executed timing push from DeWalt, and what will Eon Zerg's, answer be to this game? What do you think, Araniac? What do you expect?
What do I think? I think that the air side of the first game, like the air half, looked really good for Eon Zerg, right? There was a lot. He was looking pretty good. He was doing pretty good, not making sure he didn't lose everything. Yeah, he was doing a great job zoning, and then it was just one bad fight, everything just kind of evaporated, right? And I think as long as he can learn from that and try to avoid that again, obviously, it's hard to just avoid taking a bad fight sometimes. But if you can keep that up again, I think there was some real potential.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. I think it was looking pretty good for him. DeWalt just handled that Scourge pressure really, really well.
Yeah. Believe it or not, DeWalt kind of knows how to handle these things.
Who would have thought, huh?
What a weird world.
All right.
I feel like, okay, hear me out. Shouldn't the wall be back like a little bit further, like the pylon's here basically? Because can't you snipe the pylon from the high ground over here? Not that that matters as much, but like when he puts the gateway here, that should be reachable from the far high ground with range.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure with the pylon. I think the cannon will protect the pylon? Question mark. It'll at least protect the forge, right?
Yeah. Like the forge is in a good spot, but if he puts the gateway forward here.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how it plays out. I'm sure DeWalt, has done his fair share of walling on this map at this point. So.
Oh yeah, I trust DeWalt right more than me, but I'm like trying to understand it, right?
I got you 100%, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, right? Like I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I'm not so sure, but it's more like I'm kind of with you. I don't understand it either, and I assume DeWalt's gonna show me,
Yeah.
And it's possible we don't see exactly the reason why in this game in particular, but
that's fine. We can ask him in the winner's interview if he survives.
It's very fair, very true.
All right, third hatch down.
Yeah, looking pretty standard so far for both players. DeWalt, not really one to do a bunch of crazy or odd things in a lot of his games. Which is pretty indicative of people that are very confident in their gameplay.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're not seeing something more crazy out of Zerg,
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you think maybe we'll see like a 973? Well, no, I guess not because there's Slayer, but kind of surprised he wouldn't go for anything too crazy like that.
Yeah, I think 973 starts to fall off a bit against like really solid players like DeWalt and Bana. I've been watching like Bana streams a bit more recently, and he makes 973 look like the worst possible build you could go for. Even though every Protoss player otherwise will tell you that it's the most broken build in the game.
Well, I'm sure Bonos will still complain about it if we asked him, but like he's good at holding it.
Yeah, it's possible, yeah. Alright, so nothing too weird so far from either player. Looks like just kind of a relatively standard layer timing, so we're going to go into that Spire and at least go into Scourge. We'll keep an eye on that second gas, but so far we're still on a single gas, which is usually indicative of it just being Scourge without the mutas. I mean, it could be 5 muta as well after the Scourge, but...
In the incredible words of Tasteless, either they make 5 mutas, or they make more than 5 mutas.
Yeah. It's either 5 or like 30. Like, there's really not much of an in-between.
Which is exactly what we want to hear as Zerg players, to just make many mutas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Pro made it into the main.
Yeah, so he's at least planning on playing a lot more standard this time. So most likely it's going to be Scourge into Hydra. Again, it could be, that 5 muta opener as well. We'll keep an eye on that. But is it going to be, 5 hatch, 6 hatch? Eon Zerg, he strikes me as more of a 5 hatch player if he's going to go into a more standard hatch or Hydra play.
Okay.
But we'll see. We'll see what he wants to go for here.
Well, it looks like hatch number 5 is about to go down, so...
Yeah, currently at 5. We'll see if he wants to go into that 6th or not. We are building up that gas count still, so I think this is just going to be Scourge. Our mineral count is very low with those extra hatcheries coming down, right? So
yeah,
I don't think this is going to be that muta play.
No, he spent his larva and his gas doesn't move that much, so it's definitely going to be some Scourge.
Yeah. So just going to be Scourge to deter the Corsair. Hydroden, I imagine, is what that is on the bottom of the space here. Can you just double check that for me? It's going to be Evo Chamber. I am wrong, so the Hydroden is going to be at the natural.
It's a wall somewhere.
Yeah.
DeWalt continuously moving these zealots just to make sure that Eon Zerg's looking at him. Like, well, I could move these out.
Yeah, I think we queued up some Hydra just now too. We actually have 3 additional Zealots joining these 2 Zealots, and I think this caught Eon a little bit off guard. The Scourge are going to come in and try to go for this Corsair. We'll see if DeWalt reacts quick enough. Takes 1 shot, and the other one gets cut off and actually goes down. So one of the Corsair are going to go down, but the Zealots are going to do pretty well in this fight. We did start those Hydras, but we don't quite have enough here yet. We're going to get a bit of a drone drill to try and disrupt the Zealots some. And
there's
this last Zealot...
He's so low! Oh, drone,
yeah,
you
actually
win this!
A few taps away, but unfortunately Eon was not clicking on the Zealot and realized how low at HP. Okay, I think now he clicked and he's like, wait a second, I can go back and kill that. So, gonna clean that up a little bit. Overall, though, I would say decent damage for DeWalt. I don't know if it's really what you're looking for, since he did lose one of the Corsair as well.
Yeah, I don't know if it was enough, is the big thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, my brain tells me it was slightly favored for Zerg overall, but again, I'm really not the best with assessing Zerg games. Kava made me brutally aware of this recently, where he just told me, he's like, you really need to learn what Zerg is doing, like what you're looking at. And I was like, that's probably true.
Kava, the ever encouraging guy.
Well, it is what it is, right? I've played a lot of Protoss now. I've played a lot of Terran, and I'm very like invested in these matchups. And I can tell you like the TVZ side of things right now. But when I was playing Protoss, I'm just being honest, okay? When I played Protoss, I wasn't doing a good job of learning about the game. I was just playing the game.
Man was aping.
And it wasn't, yeah, and it wasn't until I started playing Terran that I really started to try to pay attention to a lot more things, and as well as becoming a caster where I'm trying to learn more things. So.
Yeah, honestly, being a caster has done more for learning the game than playing has for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like actually having to understand what they're doing while watching it. I can't replicate it. I have no idea how to do it in game, but I can look at it and understand what they're doing. It's like, okay, you're going for this. This is how you're gonna get there, kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right, back up to 5 Corsair here. Gonna catch this Overlord. So nice little pick. They're gonna supply block Eon Zerg. Does get slightly intercepted, so 1 Corsair gonna go down. Pretty good for Eon in return. We have 1 single Scourge moving for interception here.
1 Scourge versus 4 Stairs.
Did we make that 6 hatch at the 3rd base yet?
No.
No, we didn't. So we're actually just staying on 5 hatch pumping right now. But he's got a pretty good drone count. I feel like he's got enough drones that he could go up to 6 hatch at this point.
He's definitely got a solid economy.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a surprise storm there. It looked like it confused Eon for a second. He was kind of
where
dancing.
the heck did that come from?
What just happened? Yeah. And maybe that's the 6 hatchery going down in Eon's natural. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, that makes more sense to me. Alright, so just going to be 6 hatch, lots of Hydra. I mean, if it is 5 hatch, it would have been pumping a lot earlier. I think he was a little bit disrupted from that pressure as well, where he ended up replacing a lot. Like, it kind of stumped his Hydra production, if that's what he wanted to go for, and he ended up droning back up.
Yeah.
And it looks like we might be taking the bottom right corner for a 4th relatively soon. I like that Eon does this. He doesn't really get stuck on just pumping Hydras like a lot of Zergs do when they're going 6 hatch.
The Hydras are so good.
Continue to grow.
Both sides have that +1.
Yeah. Yeah, the Hydras actually did really well here against these Zealots, cleaning up a fair amount of them. And yeah, after that kind of winning trade there, Eon's going to drop that 4th base. I like that call from Eon because he's got DeWalt a little bit stuck defensively right now. Does have the 4 High Templar building up energy. This is pretty standard. And a good positioning with these Hydras over the Overlords to kind of prevent them from going down. Eon not giving not really showing much vulnerability to these Corsairs.
No, there's 1 Overlord here that he'll probably grab on his way out, but that's about it.
Yeah. Is going to find that Overlord. We'll see if he runs into these 2 Scourge after him. And if he does, will the Scourge actually hit anything? Because God knows that...
Oh, one did connect. Never mind. That's what I get for saying no.
Yeah, just to prove you wrong. That was the only reason he did it.
Honestly, probably. Knowing Scourge AI, most likely.
Yeah, one Scourge makes another connection, but there's a little bit of a fight happening there at the third of the wall. But he's got that high ground with the goons and his Templar sitting up there, so not
Yeah.
really a position you want to break. He's going to start securing this third base. I will say, I've mentioned this before, this is one of the reasons I actually think it's good for Zerg on this map a lot of times, is because the third base for Protoss, you're kind of pushed towards taking this mineral-only base, which is, obviously, there's nothing bad about having a third base, but not having access to that third gas actually makes a huge difference in the army composition of Protoss.
Yes, every race suffers from it, having to take the mineral only, but Protoss in PvZ is probably one of the worst affected.
Yeah.
Oh, we
All right, big fight, kind of breaking out here in the middle. A little bit of a pathing error here from the bottom Hydra, so a few extras go down. So nice initial engagement here from DeWalt. This is a pretty scary army. It's not super goon heavy yet, so a couple Templar are going to get picked off as the Hydras come in here. Actually, every Templar gets picked off, so really well done from Eon Zerg, but does he have enough Hydras after to clear the army is the question. A lot more mutas actually came out even. Yeah, and it looks like 2 Templar kind of on the backside. I know it's an Observer actually joining up here, so just an Observer and 1 Templar instead. And I think with only 1 Templar, you shouldn't feel so comfortable being out here, but DeWalt does feel comfortable. He still wants to kind of jockey around a little bit and kind of look for small skirmishing engagements, see what he can pick off.
Yeah, DeWalt's kind of crazy like that.
But he didn't expect this kind of counterattack here from the mutas, and with that, he's going to pull the trigger and go into this third base of Eon Zerg. The 1 storm that he has does go down. This is good positioning from DeWalt. A lot of zealots pouring into the third base here, and the Hydras are going to be pretty far behind, so a lot of drone damage could potentially happen. Yeah, no lurkers. We're going really heavy on the mutas for the Templar sniping. But with no Templar here and a lot of the zealots separated, the mutas are going to join with the Hydras. There are still 3 Corsair left over. DeWalt, even though he has no storm, just the raw numbers of army he has actually going to come out on top of the reinforcing zealots.
This is illegal.
The mutas all getting cleaned up. I cannot believe
this is so
DeWalt
illegal.
wins this fight this heavily without storm.
I'm uninstalling after this group. Why do I play this game?
And with that, DeWalt going to break this position, take down that Evo chamber, and threaten to kill these hatcheries here. We got the reinforcing zealots still rejoining here. A couple reinforcing Templar as well joining in now with these zealots. Going to push Eon Zerg back to his natural. Going to at least move out and snipe these Templar. Actually, not even, because we're going to morph into an Archon. One last little screw you from DeWalt to those Hydras.
Yeah, and I mean, losing your third base is near impossible to come back from. Like,
yeah.
He lost 2 hatcheries, he lost his Evo, you lose the drones, you lose the larva production. Like, there's just so much of it that's so hard to come back from.
Yeah, I mean, Eon did such a good job sniping all those Templar that I actually really liked his position, but there were just so many zealots coming out for DeWalt that the lack of lurkers actually did come back to bite us. But I was kind of surprised, to be honest. We didn't really take a lot of losses before the fight happened, and typically your Hydra count's going to be high enough to kind of bully its way through the Protoss army without that AoE.
Yeah, that's not something you see very often in this matchup. Once Protoss is out of Storm, that's usually the end of any push.
Yeah, gonna run forward and try to snipe these Templar. Gets one of them, but did miss a lot from the low ground, so all the Hydras gonna go down without getting the second Templar. But the Storms were cast, the Hydras were already deleted from the game, and here we go, while pushing into the natural. A lot of Zealots here with the Archon and Goons, starting to break through this position. More reinforcements coming across the map from the other side from DeWalt. We're gonna see a bit of a drone pool even, just kind of desperate to stay alive. Eon fighting for his tournament life, but down to about half the supply now. And I think DeWalt is going to do it, guys.
Yeah.
Taking out Eon Zerg here, just with the reinforcements pouring in. We got more Hydras coming across the map. Eon does have that bottom right base, so he was thinking, you know, I denied your third. If I could just maybe stabilize and hold on, I could play it from here, but
unfortunately,
doesn't
it's
look
not
like
going to happen.
GG. Gonna be called. DeWalt gonna win 2-0 and qualify for the round of 8. with Bonif.
The expected result, but man, rip on Zerg.
Rip Jan Zerg. Just pure execution of macro, honestly.
Yeah, sometimes that's all it takes. All right, let's see if we can't get DeWalt in here.
I'm glad my voice survived this weekend.
You taking tomorrow off, or you got more tournaments tomorrow somehow?
No, I'm gonna do like 4 or 5 ladder streams without a mic for the next several days.
Nice.
Yeah, after I cast a bunch, it's a really good excuse to turn my mic off and focus on Bling.
I'm sure if I did that at some point, I'd probably get good at this game, but I'm not good enough to do it without the mic because it's like, well, why would I watch this if he's not at least funny? It's like, well, I'm not
Sure.
that either. Sorry. All right, seeing if we can get DeWalt in here for an interview. I actually have no idea how good his English is. It's another one.
Yeah, I will say for my anonymous tournament, he didn't want to do it because he didn't feel confident with his English.
Yeah. 6 a.m. for him. Super late.
Yeah.
Not super early. Super late.
Yeah.
All
Yeah, it's
right.
interesting because when DeWalt types, his English looks fantastic, but I think he's just not as comfortable like listening and speaking it, which actually happens with a lot of languages. So I get
mean,
it.
to be fair, English is a bit of a pain in the rear end to learn to speak.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm better at writing languages than I am speaking them. But like, I can read
I think a lot
German
of
pretty well. I
people.
can read Swedish enough, but I
Yeah.
can't speak either of them like competently at all.
Yeah. I hear you.
All right.
I can hear people speak and kind of understand for whatever that's worth.
Not me. I'm like, maybe it's just also because of my tinnitus or something. It's like, no, you give me a menu, I can tell you exactly what I want. Right? You want to explain to me what I'm
Yeah.
ordering? No shot. Like, it's not happening, man. All right, guys, that's about all we got. Since DeWalt is gaming hours at 6 a.m. Thank you all for watching. Ozzy, any last words for the audience as we wrap up our second group of the round of 16?
No, I don't have much to say. So you're doing the next 2 groups next weekend, is that the deal? And then the round of
Yes.
8 starts after that? Okay. So yeah, looking forward to that. I imagine we'll just continue the good games. Honestly, really looking forward to, especially when we get to the knockout stage of the round of 8. I'm pretty excited for it. We've already got big names qualifying, and we're just going to continue the good games. So really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the games. We had a banger of a group today. It was the
Absolutely.
expected results, but I'm super happy with the quality all around. Even though Wolfix, lost both games, I feel like he actually played really well. DeWalt and Bonneth gave us a crazy series. It was a 2-0, but it was a psychotic 2-0. So yeah, I'm very
Yes.
happy with what I got to watch and cast today.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. We had some incredible games, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Yeah. Peace.